What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Oh man, hopefully y'all were able to hear that or listen to or watch what we're covering today. Mr. Z, I was supposed to cover something completely different, and that was supposed to be yesterday, but this is important because they still haven't learned. They're still hitting us with the old tropes about how they're morally superior. Now, this young lady wasn't necessarily antagonistic. She wasn't necessarily mean. She was dismissive, though, right? But it's the same stories that we hear all the time. It's the same thing that black men are used to when it comes to a conversation about black men and black women. Now, in defense of the average, the dusty, and DDG. No, Mr. Z does not know all the details in and out about DDG and Haley Bailey, right? But once again, the framing. Now, let's not pretend like when everyone first heard that DDG and Haley Bailey was a thing, that we didn't have a number of black women begging Haley Bailey to reconsider with a white man. Ooh, goddamn Z. It wasn't just the swirlers, it wasn't just the divestors. There were a number of black women who just thought that Haley Bailey was too cute to be with the likes of a DDG. And even with that, on the other side of their relationship, and now that they have a not a newborn so much, but a newborn, now we're speaking about once again black women and their dating, mating, and marriage options. Oh boy.
This is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
Huh? The framing once again is that black women don't really have too many good choices to choose from. Oh
This
boy.
is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
Huh? So we'll be covering this young lady, right? And y'all gives you a second, actually. Y'all gives you a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. And we're back, right? And yes, so shout out to her. Um, she wasn't the worst. We've definitely heard worse. We definitely heard way more antagonistic, um, way more insulting claims from black women. Once again, we're reviewing Cindy Noir's channel. The reason why I put also Sarge Lee Pete is because once again the framing of DDG and I want to, as a matter of fact, let's do this first. We're not going to be antagonistic towards Miss Cindy Noir, right? Let's do this first. And I want to pose this question before we actually get into Cindy Noir's commentary. And this is for everyone in the black community, namely black women, and in this case, namely Cindy Noir. We're going to tag Cindy Noir here. So here we go. To Miss Cindy Noir and to other black women, is there any interaction between black men and black women where black women aren't infallible? What are you saying, Z? Are black women always infallible in relation to black men? So black men are insecure when they're around successful black women. Black men are colorist, featurist, texturist. Black men want to participate in white patriarchy, right? Black men don't value black women. There are not enough good black men of good moral standing. Oh boy. Huh? Black men are more inherently violent. Jesus Christ. Huh? So, all in all, the framing is anything that isn't cartoonishly bad coming from a black woman to a black man and got to be caught on camera, then black women are essentially and effectively infallible in relationship to black men. Is that what we're saying, Miss Cindy Noir? And y'all will see, for those of you who didn't watch it already, y'all will see why Mr. Z is saying this, right? Or better yet, posing this question. Because listening to Miss Cindy Noir, it's the same old argument that black men have been hearing for decades.
This is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
Huh? And so, before we get underway, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use, right? Um, we'll be listening to Miss Cindy Noir speak, and we'll cover it that way. But I want to first, before we cover it, I want us to remember this playing on in the background. Negative liberty is freedom from interference by other people. Negative liberty is primarily concerned with freedom from external restraint and constraint. Excuse me, and contrasts with positive liberty. Let's read that again because Mr. Z over here fumbling and bumbling. Negative liberty is freedom from interference by other people. Negative liberty is primarily concerned with freedom from external restraint and contrasts with positive liberty. Now, Miss Cindy Noir, if you do choose to listen to this, you may not. Let that play on in your mind as you consider black women and black men relationships, and maybe why black women may entertain men who people like you may think are beneath those women. Huh? Once again, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use, right? And so let's get underway. I have this sped up to 1.25 speed, and we're gonna play some of this. Shout out to Cindy Noir. She wasn't the worst. She wasn't the most antagonistic, but we will be covering this because there's a lot to glean from this. And here we go.
Over the past few days, Halle Bailey has been the talk of the town, and unfortunately, it is not due her talent as an actress or a singer. Unfortunately, it is due to her child's father, DDG, or as I love to call him, DD Go to Hell. He has taken over the social media sound waves due to his bitch fit, for lack of better words, regarding him not being able to see his kid. This whole predicament.
Let's pause right here. Halle Bailey is a cutie. She's cute. She's a little cuddly cutie, right? How was DDG, a man who many women, black women, were already looking at side eye when they found out about Halle Bailey and DDG? How exactly was he supposed to handle this? Especially if he didn't want to take it to court as of yet. It's a no-win situation with black men and black women. This is why I asked the question earlier, Miss Cindy Noir, are black women infallible in relationship to black men? Especially, excuse me, in intimate relationship. He made a yitch fit because he couldn't see his kid. Listen to the tone of your voice when you said that. So let's be very clear. Both of them are engaging in character assassination of the other. Both of them are engaging in this media thing. DDG told you she ain't as cute and cuddly as y'all think she is. And the problem is, okay, continuing.
Conversation in particular is what I want to talk to you all about today. And that conversation is, why does it appear that young black women who are celebrities tend to choose wrong romantically? Okay, no, but can we talk about this one, y'all?
Oh, can we talk? Can we talk about it? 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 Can we talk?
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cindy Noir, and welcome back to another episode of my show, The Cindy Noir Show, as I am your host, Cindy Noir. There's no waves happening today, no jewelry, because for one, I'm recovering from a sinus infection. Yes, not even a month after recovering from walking pneumonia, your girl now has a sinus infection. Love that for me. So I have cotton balls in my ears, and beyond that, this conversation today is a little too serious for me to really care about the appearance of it all. Baby, I'm here to talk. I'm here to yap. Okay, I'm here to get down to business. So y'all have to be okay with this do-rag, because not only am I here to yap, but I need to have a haircut. So now I know I was supposed to be talking about, I believe, the substance today. However, I feel as though this topic has way more substance for me to cover, and I've talked about enough white women for a little while. It's time for me to talk about us, right? And this topic of Halle Bailey and her child's father is one that I think deserves some delving into and some depth that goes against the shallowness that I've seen over the last few days. So I'm not going to waste any time. I've gotten all the pleasantries out the way. So without further ado, let's get into today's topic, shall we? And before I get started, I want to make it clear, this is not going to be a video or an episode of me bashing Halle Bailey. And as a matter of fact, I won't be talking much about Halle Bailey at all this episode, because I don't think this is solely a young black celebrity women issue. I think this is a black woman issue in general. I think across the board, no matter our skin tone, no matter our socioeconomic status, no matter how many degrees we have, black women are not choosing in our best interest romantically. And this pattern is historical. We are not the first generation to experience the amount of us who are choosing poorly in partners. This issue predates us to our mothers, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, and so on and so forth, which to me indicates that this issue is not just a mere issue of poor choice, but this issue is systemic. There are a lot of things at play here that result in why so many of us end up in these predicaments where we either date or marry or have kids by a man who is not working in our best interest and who is not the best choice for us to make in that kind of commitment. So in honor of this month being...
Once again, this framing. Is it possible that a woman, a black woman, makes a choice, a conscious choice, and it just doesn't work out in her favor? Can a black woman say, hey, I want that guy, and the rest of the black community is like, eh? And she's like, I don't care what y'all say, I'm going that way. Is it possible that a black woman can have people behind her saying, hey, I think you should make a left? She's like, no, 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 I want to make a right. No, I think you should make a left. No, 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 I want to make a right. And she makes a right and she falls off the edge of a cliff. Is that possible? Anytime one of these black women, these black female celebrities makes a choice, say that word again, see, makes a choice and chooses to be with the man that the rest of the black community, namely black women, thinks isn't a good look, it isn't good for her public image, especially if it doesn't work out. Black women go to, well, we don't have many good options, and what do we have to choose from? As Sarge Willie Pete said about Keke Palmer, Steve Harvey said to Keke Palmer, I have men for you. I have men lined up. I have black men, successful black men. Keke Palmer wasn't trying to hear it. Dear Miss Cindy Noir, could the women be choosing the men, ooh, Z, you about to say it, that makes their giny wet? Uh-oh. Yikes. Could women be choosing the men that make their giny wet, and that's what they're going for primarily? Ooh. Huh? Continuing.
who is not working in our best interest and who is not the best choice for us to make in that kind of commitment. So in honor of this month being Women's History Month, I want to talk about black women's issue in poor choice in dating and even talk about it from the historical context because it is historical for us. So let's kick it off with me talking about the reasons why I think this phenomenon happens. And the first reason on my list to really get into the history of things is the fact that black women are taught hyper-independence. For those who don't know what hyper-independence is where a woman is taught to solely depend on herself, never depend on anybody else because people aren't dependable, and to not even allow yourself to be vulnerable in the sense of asking for help, that you should be the one to figure out all of your problems by yourself because at any point, people can throw their help back in your face. They can disappoint you and not help you at all, or make you even regret asking for the help to begin with. Hyper-independence is also a
I
trauma
actually agree with
response.
her
And given
to a
our
certain extent
history
on
as
this.
Black women, hyper-independence unfortunately makes sense. Hyper-independence was introduced to us as a way of survival back during slavery time. And slavery time is also when our romantic love was forcibly combined with trauma. Black women were not afforded the luxury of lighthearted, carefree romantic love. Our love was also gripped in fear and horrid mistreatment. You gotta think about it. It's really hard to give someone all of your heart when in the middle of the night they could be snatched away from you and you never see them again. It's really hard to be as open and vulnerable as you would like to be when you know in the middle of the night Max is coming to your cabin to do what he wants to do with you. We experienced so much trauma that made it hard for us to just love and made it hard for us to fully lean on our male partners in these situations. So when it came to our kids, back then we raised our boys to cower to the white man out of safety, and we raised our Black girls to never depend on Black men for our safety. And I don't blame Black women for teaching us that at that time, because we were doing what we had to do to survive. And imagine a Black woman during that time who was madly
There's a
in love with
cost
her
to that.
husband or her male partner, who was abruptly ripped away from her, whether it was him being sold to another family or being unalived or being buck breaking. I mean, there are so many different options as to why that was the case. That is traumatic. And we all know that we have generational trauma embedded in our DNA. It is seeped up in there. And I think that the trauma of being afraid to love those who look like us started in that time frame, and rightfully so. And so I don't initially fault Black women for teaching hyper-independence, because after slavery was Jim Crow, which was an equally scary time, okay? You could be walking down the street on a random Sunday, look up and see your neighbor strung up on a tree. See your dad strung up on a tree, okay? See your sister strung up on a tree.
See, Miss Cindy Noir, you went a little too far with that, because Black women weren't really being hung. That's a fact. You see how we do intersectionality? Like, if it's something that primarily affects Black women, we make sure we emphasize that, hey, this is a Black woman thing. If it's something that primarily affects Black men, it affects Black people. Ooh, you see that? Well, it affects Black women too. Yeah, like 5%, 10%, 2%. Ma'am, Black women weren't necessarily being hung. They were not the primary target. They were not the primary victims. But you see how you kind of slip that in there? That's like talking about men and breast cancer, ma'am. Huh? You see that when it's something that primarily affects women, Black women in this case, we make sure to emphasize that. When it's something that affects Black men, primarily Black men, Black men, Black men, say it again, Z, Black men, Black people. Well, Black women got to figure, Black women got hung like once or twice or 10 times or whatever. Uh-oh. Huh? Once again, Miss Cindy Noir, the framing, and you're not even the worst. Continuing.
Hyper-independence was continued on as teaching to us, because, hello, I could wake up and you were no longer in my bed and I don't know where you are. They took you in the middle of the night and did God knows what to you. Yeah, I'm teaching my daughter to not depend on y'all, because y'all could be gone in the blink of an eye. You could be gone, okay? Then we go into civil rights era. Lynching is still happening, okay? Police brutality is becoming more of a thing as well, and we are still being taught hyper-independence. Then we go from that to the crack era. Who was teaching Black women to depend on Black men then? Huh? Not only were they struggling on crack, but so were we. That teaching was still being taught. Then we go from then to mass incarceration. Men being pulled out our homes in droves. We're still being taught hyper-independence to survive. So it is really not until, I would give it the last 20, 30, 40 years, if that hyper-independence is no longer a teaching of survival per se. It is more so just a teaching of habit, right? Because even now, police brutality is still a thing. Anytime we see red and blue lights in our rearview mirror, we are scared, hearts dropping, with the valid fear of not making it out of that situation alive. However,
once again, Miss Cindy Noir, who are the primary victims of police brutality? Particularly in the Black community. Overwhelmingly, what is it, like 20, 30 some odd Black women who get unalived by the police a year, maybe? while it hovers around 200 to 300 of black men a year who are the victims and who are unalived by police a year, even though we have 2 million more black women in America than black men. This is not, ma'am. We, we, we are afraid when the police stop us. Is there Sandra Bland? Yes, there. Yes, can a black woman? Yes, we already know about the sister that was sitting in her kitchen when the police unalived her. Yes, it happens. But when you say we, ma'am, huh? Once again, intersectionality got y'all talking kind of crazy. See, you may not think you're doing this, ma'am, but you are dismissing the plight of black men when we say we, or when we speak about lynching and we speak as if black women were any number. What was the number? It was negligible of black women that got lynched for a century practically. Okay. Continuing.
However, where we are today, the stakes are not nearly as high as where they were during Jim Crow / slavery, right? So at this point, like many other trauma responses or ways we try to cope with trauma, you get to a point where you are no longer in that active traumatic space. You get to a point where you are no longer in a surrounding where survival is needed and it's time to thrive. And I think that given our history, this is the closest we've gotten in present day to thriving that we've had in 400 plus years. And when it comes to the coping mechanisms we develop in those traumatic experiences, when you are no longer in that trauma space, those coping mechanisms are no longer helpful. And as a matter of fact, they're hindering you more than anything. And I think that is what is happening to black women now. The teaching of hyper-independence at this point, I would argue.
You know what? Let her finish her statement, Z. Let her finish her statement.
The teaching of hyper-independence at this point, I would argue, is doing more harm than doing good. And I think that the teaching of hyper-independence.
Yes, but is it only hyper-independence because it's a holdover from trying to protect black women from being so reliant on black men because of slavery and Jim Crow, which, okay, fine. But could it now just be negative liberty? Once again, negative liberty is freedom from interference by other people. Negative liberty is primarily concerned with freedom from external restraint. Freedom from external restraint. Say it again, Z. Freedom from external restraint. Ma'am, do you understand what you have when you're in an intimate relationship with a man, with a man's man, with a man? Do you understand what you're in when you're married? External restraint. Negative liberty is primarily concerned with freedom from external restraint. Ma'am, the black community is chock full of black women, both professional and non-professional black women, who conduct themselves like.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Do we need to read negative liberty one more again? Negative liberty is freedom from interference by other people. Freedom from interference by other people.
Who gonna check me, boo?
So yes, ma'am, hyper-independence. I agree with you, by the way. I agree with the hyper-independence. I'm saying that hyper-independence now is looking a lot like negative liberty.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Just saying. Right? Just saying. Huh? Continuing.
Independence is playing a huge role into why so many of us don't know how to date and never even fully develop the skill of dating. Think about it. For a lot of black women, if you grew up in a religious household or if you grew up in the African diaspora household, baby, you were told, ain't no dating for you till you're 18, 16, 18. No dating, no boys. Don't even look in their direction. No. Meanwhile, your brothers got to go have their fun. Got to get the experience. The thing about dating is a.
See that framing. See, See, if that's the case, then why do we have so many women, black women under the age of what? What Sarge Willie Pete said? Is it 20 or is it 25, 24 years old? Black women are mothers. 70 some odd percent of black mothers are mothers before the age of what, 25, 24 in the black community? Black men don't even come close. Ma'am, I mean, y'all sharing the same dudes under the age of 25. I don't know. It sounds like y'all been getting out. Huh? Teenage pregnancy isn't a thing like that anymore. But when it was, black women were up there. Sounds like y'all were getting out. Sounds like y'all were going out. Sounds like y'all were dating. Maybe not dating, maybe smashing. Oops. Huh? Are you sure, ma'am? Huh? Are you sure of what you
You
speak?
sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
Huh? I hear you, Miss Cindy Noor. But are you sure? Because black women have more children than black men. Black women have more children than black men from the jump till death, including underage, including the minors with children. You sure y'all not going out? Maybe you weren't. I hear you. I understand your argument, but it's wrong. All right, continuing.
Is a skill. It is not genetically predisposed to you. You don't just get the skill of dating on a whim. You have to go out and learn and hone that skill. And normally, when you let your teens date within reason between middle school and high school, date age appropriately, you are starting that skill very early on. So the average person who was allowed to date as a teen, they got to go from level 0 to level 1 to 1.5 to about a 2 by the time they're about 18. They've already got a little bit of experience under their belt. They know a little bit more about themselves, and they have developed that skill to a certain degree, okay? For a lot of black women, there are those of us who were told we couldn't date till we were in college. So that's 18, 19, 20, 21 or so. So while the average teen by 18 is hitting like a little level 2 in the skill of dating, we are going to college at 0. No skill, no prior experience, no prior learning, no prior nothing. We are starting at 0, right? And that is putting us behind.
Y'all starting at settle. Oh, she said zero? Did she say zero or settle? Either way, ma'am, let's stick with the argument. Once again, negative liberty, ma'am. Are you sure that much of the problem is, fine, y'all don't start dating until 22, that when men are interacting, that's white, black, Latino, Asian, or otherwise, to be frank with you, with your average black woman, the black community is led by its women. The black community is a matriarchy if you want to be kind, a gynocracy if you want to be accurate. What these men are being hit with, these young men, so 22 and above, is black women that live negative liberty. Are you sure that might not be the issue possibly? Once again, negative liberty is freedom from interference by other people. Negative liberty is primarily concerned with freedom from external restraint. Freedom from external restraint. Are you sure, ma'am? That fine, if we even agree with your argument, black women don't start dating until 18 or 22, 23 when they're done with school. Okay, fine. But is that attitude and demeanor full of negative liberty when you do start dating at 18 or 22, 23? Is your attitude...
You gonna check me, boo?
Huh? Because if that's your attitude, it wouldn't matter if you start dating at 18, 23, 50. Just saying. Something to consider. Right? Something to consider, ma'am. Continuing.
Everyone else who's already had a little bit of experience in high school, right? That is a disservice to us. The fact that so many black women are taught to emphasize education over love, to worry about getting a degree first and love later, that is a hindrance. We could do both. We are smart, educated women. We can do
I
both.
agree with her
We
on
can have our
this.
head in the books and learn what we want and don't want when it comes to romantic interaction. And some of us were told to not even think about dating until after you're out of college. So now you're talking about 21, 22, 23 at level 0 in the skill of dating. At that point, folks is at level 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're at 0. And that is doing us a disservice. Hyper independence is not healthy. Interdependence is healthy. That
Negative
is the
liberty.
goal is to maintain your independence on your own, but also be able to work with someone and see them as your equal. Hyper independence causes us to look at men as less than. Now,
This independence word, Jesus Christ, black women, kill it. Take the word independence and independent, take it behind the wood chipper. Delete it and bury it. It is a hindrance for y'all. This obsession with independence, ma'am, no. But I did say interdependence. Yeah, I heard you. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. Everybody using the word now. But this obsession with your own autonomy and independence, there's no autonomy and independence when you're in a relationship. Now, with no black man, ooh, goddamn, Z. I said it. Huh? Do y'all understand why Mr. Z keep on reading negative liberty over and over again? By the way, Mr. Z gonna read it like another million times tonight. Huh? Like right now. Negative liberty is freedom from interference by other people. Negative liberty is primarily concerned with freedom from external restraint. Ma'am, Miss Cindy Noor, just saying. Huh? Continuing.
that men are not dependable, they're not trustworthy, they are not worthy of your time and attention in any capacity, it is real easy to develop not even a superiority complex, but to essentially look at men as invaluable, as disposable. And there are some other reasons why that's the case too, but I'm getting that a little bit later. But hyper independence is the first reason why I think so many of us choose poorly, because we are so focused on being independent and doing everything for ourselves that we are not taking time out to learn how to let others do for us and who to allow to do for us. We are only focused on self, and I don't think that that is healthy over time. And don't get me wrong, as someone who is choosing myself and opting out of dating altogether, there is beauty in that. However, I can also see the danger in that, in how choosing yourself can lead to isolation, which can lead to a lack of desire to even try at building any kind of romantic connection with somebody, which then ultimately continues the cycle of you not developing that skill, which then...
Let's address this first. Ma'am, I would argue, putting this on the table, putting this argument on the table, much of the reason why black women don't want to be interdependent is because they want the power. Negative liberty, once again for the 1 zillionth time. Huh? Say your title again, Z. In defense of the average, the dusty, and DDG. Ma'am, Miss Cindy Noir, just consider, just entertain Mr. Z for 30 seconds, maybe more like 60, maybe more like 90. And consider black women ain't signing up for this because they want to do what they want to do, how they want to do it. And if that means a lifetime of loneliness, they'll take it. Ooh, goddamn. Huh? If that means they're in a situationship or they're in a relationship for 2 years and 3 years and that feel good, but you know what? I gotta stretch. This is too restraining. I gotta tell him when I'm going out and where I'm going. No, I don't want to do that anymore. Huh? TMR anyone? Who goddamn Z? Huh? Just something to consider. Continuing.
romantic connection with somebody, which then ultimately continues the cycle of you not developing that skill, which then makes you not want to try. So while I understand the reason why Black women are taught hyper-independence, I think that in today's day and age, if we fully want a shot at being open to receiving and giving love healthily, we have to recognize that hyper-independence is not the answer. The next reason why I think that Black women choose poorly is because, honey, we don't have enough good options to choose from. And this is what bothers me about.
And here we go. Now we're in the fun
This is
stuff.
the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on, my friend.
Huh? Now we're in the good stuff. We just don't have enough good choices to choose from type of talk. Ma'am. We have an answer for you.
Mario, Jorge, Cartwright, Shang Tsung. We got a thrift store of leftover bitches. They're leftover because apparently it ain't enough niggas is worth a damn. Whatever. Point is they left over. We need you to come pick them up. No instruction manual. Figure it out. Sprinkle some white ice on it. Maybe, I've heard the white ice is colder. Sprinkle some white ice on it. It goes with everything. If you come within the next 24 hours, we'll give you a complimentary book on how to date Black women for white men. That's a $4 value.
Ma'am. Another one of these. We don't have enough options for good Black men. There's not enough. And by the way, she really gonna go to it later on in this conversation. Once again, we're back at the not enough good Black men. We don't have enough good choices. We don't have enough good options. Oh boy, what are we gonna
This is the
do?
song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on, my friend.
Huh? Right? We're here again, everyone. We're here again for the 1 zillionth time. We are here again. Back at the church of Black women need to choose better or date out, but she's not actually gonna say that. I just gave y'all a little hint about something. She's not actually gonna say that. Actually, she's gonna fight against that, which is interesting, right? But the whole rest of the argument
This is the
is
song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on, my friend.
right. Continuing.
About how we can chastise women for choosing poorly, because choosing poorly to me insinuates that women have an equal amount of good choices to choose from and an equal amount of bad choices to choose from, and we're just deciding to just go for the bad, for the hell of it, for the whim of it all, as if there are equal parts of both, and there are not. Period, point blank. They're not.
Once again, we're here
This is
again.
the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on, my friend.
Huh? There are not equally good choices and they're not equally bad choices.
This is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on, my friend.
And you wonder why Ed said what he said. Ed, say it again.
Mario, Jorge, Cartwright, Shang Tsung. We got a thrift store of leftover bitches. They're leftover because apparently it ain't enough niggas is worth a damn. Whatever. Point is they left over. We need you to come pick them up. No instruction manual. Figure it out. Sprinkle some white ice on it. Maybe, I've heard the white ice is colder. Sprinkle some white ice on it. It goes with everything. If you come within the next 24 hours, we'll give you a complimentary book on how to date Black women for white men. That's a $4 value.
Starman, we gonna address that insufferable comment in a minute. You're gonna see Starman, get ready, boy. You about to have a conniption in a minute. And Starman says, we back around to blaming the men for the women being insufferable. You gonna see who we gonna address it in a minute. In a minute. Hold on to your hat. Better strap yourself down to the chair right now. Because you might throw it in a minute. Continuing. Right, continuing. Y'all give me a second. Here we go.
I'm talking about character and morality at this point. Just based off men's character, based off how men see and treat women, there aren't many options to choose from that are good quality options. Period, point blank. Yes, there are good men out there, but are there enough good men out there to balance the amount of good women out here who have good character and morals? Okay, I fully believe that being self-sufficient as an adult doesn't automatically make you a good person. Gender aside.
Good moral character. There's not enough black men with good moral character as compared to black women. So we're doing the moral superiority thing, are we now?
That if you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is.
Huh. Well, see, of course you're gonna play her. She your preference. She your preference. She light
I
skin.
miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up.
Well, she looked like one of them IG women, and she done up and she got the makeup. Well, she trying to be a baddie. She got the baddie starter kit.
As a man, if you don't have house core job, don't look for a woman with house core job. And for the men that complain about women that do that, look for a man that has all three, and they don't have all three. We can do that. We are women. You want us. You need us. Y'all want one thing from us. And mad because we boss y'all around because you're a fucking servant. You're a provider, right? You're a protector, right? You're a security guard and you're a goddamn assistant. Know your place. Stop being contradicting and bow down. Because I'm sick of it.
I'm glad that Miss Cindy Noir mentioned morality and framed it the way she did. Shout out to the Roger Report. I see the brother, the Roger Report in the comment section. Raj, how often Mr. Z told y'all they think they morally superior? Shout out to BGS. I walked in the door saying, yeah, they think they're morally superior. Now, this is not something that y'all didn't already know. Mr. Z just put words to it. I walked in the door saying, yeah, they really do think they're morally superior. They justify everything off of being morally superior. Unfortunately for you, Miss Cindy Noor, and other black men, the masses of other black men, we disagree. And y'all can't really do anything to make us change our mind. Y'all been trying for decades. Mothers, aunts, grandmothers. Black women speak as if black men don't interact with black women. As if black boys don't interact with black girls. Even the black men in church shaking their head. Yeah, yeah, sister, right on. Yeah, they don't believe you. Morally superior. Yeah, that's it. Huh? Another one, morally superior. Adric says, here you go.
That doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
Huh? Morally superior. We continue to have these conversations, and at the foundation of the conversation are black women who just they feel inherently, it's like deep down in them, that they're on the right side of history and they're morally superior to everyone in this society, including black men. Huh? Which one you mean the munchkin then? Adric, I'm talking to Adric, y'all. My apologies. Right in the middle of my commentary, excuse me. But once again, black women who move about the world as if they're morally superior to everyone. Okay, including black men. Now, if there is a disagreement, if there's a which way should the black community go, the left or the right, the framing, once again, is that black men are looking to use the same tools as white men. Black men want to be oppressive. Black men want to be hierarchical. What's the problem with that? Black men want to oppress others and step on others, namely black women. But black men are homophobic and transphobic, and black men want to be white patriarchs, chocolate dip white patriarchs. That's the framing. Black women, on the other hand, are looking for justice. Huh? Black women are looking for fairness. Black women don't want hierarchy. They're not hierarchical. Hierarchical. Huh? Unlike black men. Black men, you losers. You want to be white men. Huh? Ah. Every time we let black women speak like they're not oppressive.
Said if you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is.
Ah, Miss Cindy Noir. But you said she's a preference, right? She looks like a preference. Light-skinned black woman looks like she's kind of slim. So yeah, you don't want to hear that. Well, dark-skinned black woman.
I miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up.
Ah, I miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up. Miss Cindy Noir. Just saying. I'm not gonna play the other one right now because my subscribers, they're gonna cover their ears and cover their eyes because they tired of seeing that lady. So I ain't gonna play her right now. I'm gonna torture them a little bit later though. Huh? I love that we're here now. They're just straight up saying, yeah, we're morally superior to you. Huh? Our morality, our character. We're morally superior. Continuing.
Doesn't automatically make you a good person. Gender aside, okay? I don't care how many degrees you have. I don't care what kind of car you drive. If your character ain't up to par, and if your morals and values aren't up to par, then I wouldn't deem you a good partner. And even with that being said, I still think that there are more good women out here than there are good men, especially good men for black women, because what we need in a partner is a little special, a little different to accommodate our experience as black women. And what I mean by that is any man who is going to date a black woman needs to have his ego and pride in check to be able to support her in her greatness.
Here we go with Queen Earth Mother Goddess. Here we go once again. Huh? Here we go with Earth Queen Mother Goddess Black Woman. Her and her greatness.
That doesn't end. Yes, it goes on, my friend.
Here we go again. With you have to have your ego in check so that you can support Earth Queen Mother Goddess, creator of the universe, and Miss Cindy Noir. This is kind of making fun of you, but not really, because that sentiment has been here way before you. Well, this idea that black men, and let's be very clear, Miss Cindy Noir, you use the words you use. You have to have your ego in check as a man to support a black woman in all her greatness. You know what hit Mr. Z's ears and a lot of black men's ears and men in general ears? You have to have your ego in check because you're going to be worshiping black women. You're going to be worshiping me. Ooh, goddamn, Z. Z, that's not the word she used. But we've been hearing black women say this for very, very, very long. We've been hearing black women speak like this for a long time. Huh? And it's interesting you said that, Miss Noir, Miss Cindy Noir, because there's another black woman who's been making the rounds for some years now, and she would tend to disagree with you about having your ego in check. Because she's looking for something a bit different. I'm going to play her in a minute. This is not the time. Mr. Z might have mentioned it a little too early. A little too early. Huh? Oof. I wish I would have known you was gonna put this comment down, right? Because I would have had it queued up, but I don't. And Inspired Truth says, so the master challenge was moral superiority. Hey, let's talk about that moral superiority. I got something close enough, right? And thank you for the super chat, Inspired Truth. Miss Cindy Noir, does this sound like moral superiority to you?
If you want to date outside of your race, you need to be disciplined. When they say we're going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning, you better be up at 5 o'clock getting ready. They are not going to deal with the lack of discipline. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. What we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that.
Does that sound like moral superiority, ma'am? That's a black woman telling you that what we put black men through, her words, ma'am, you heard them. Huh? These non-black men are not going to put up with that. Oh, and guess what? She's not the only one who said something similar.
Attest that we sometimes have that resting bitch face. Get rid of it, because that's going to immediately intimidate a white guy to be like, oh yeah, no, never mind. She's probably not even interested or don't even want to be bothered. Crack a smile. Crack a smile, a little wink, or, you know, a little flirtatious type of motion or gesture. That is going to get his attention, baby. Do not be afraid to speak first. Say hello. Hello does not hurt anybody. Actually, believe it or not, sometimes a hello can go a long way. You make somebody's day sometimes by just saying hello.
So let's be very clear what that young lady is saying. As opposed to how we maneuver through the black community, we need to fix our posture, our face, be pleasant, say hello, as opposed to. So let's be very clear, Miss Cindy Noir. These are black women saying, as opposed to how they conduct themselves with black men when they're attempting to court. Because, of course, if it's a black woman talking to a white dude, then she's going to be the one probably courting him. Ooh, goddamn, so you said that out loud. If you're a black woman attempting to court a black man, sorry, that's the way it should be. If you're a black woman attempting to court a white man, correct, fix your face. Ooh, goddamn. You can't put him through what you put black men through. Goddamn. Ma'am, don't, that's what they said. Mr. Z's not putting words in their mouth. Huh? That's what the lady said. And Inspired Truth, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Just saying. Huh? And for real though, Adric, and Adric says, crack a smile, crack a joke, crack a cheek. Oops. Huh? Huh? Hey, you heard what the ladies. You heard what the lady said. Continuing, and y'all gives you a second, and we're back.
Be able to support her in her greatness, to be able to support her in her success, and to be able to support her in her success even when her success outshines his, and that be the problem for a lot of men across the board, race aside. Okay, a lot.
But we have a somewhat famous black woman, part of the black community, that says kind of different.
I look for a man who people are gravitating towards, and not women necessarily. I'm looking for the leader of the pack. So I am attracted to a man. He could be 5'9". Like there's a man in real life right now who, on a good day, he might be 5'9". But when he's in the room, everybody's almost lining up literally to get some time with him. That shit's sexy. That shit turns me on. Because that's the man whose lens is the driving force of the vision. I like a visionary, Torre. I like a man with some exit. I like a man who, when I come home from an average everyday experience, and I say, listen, sweetheart, I'm managing, I'm contemplating this move and this move and this and how this plays out. And I want a man, Torre, that can actually advise me. Who can say,
wait a minute. I was with you until then.
Okay.
You
can go where the hell you want to go.
Well, no, I want to push back on that 1 second because I totally understand. I want alpha man. Do most women have that reaction to the alpha man? No,
I don't think most women. I think me and most women don't go together. I think no, I'm really serious.
But isn't alpha what most women are attracted to?
I don't think, not necessarily. I'm looking, just thinking about the women that I know that are partnered and married.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I think a lot of women are attracted primarily to physical. I think they're leading with that.
Okay.
Yeah, like first and foremost, you have to look good to me.
Now let's go all the way back. What did Mr. Z ask? Is Haley Bailey, I get it, she's cute, but she's still a woman, and she still has a red button that needs to be pressed. God damn, so you said that. Huh? Ma'am. Haley Bailey, as cute as she is, still has a red button that she want that red button to be pressed. And she wants that red button to be pressed by a certain type of man. Now, let's merge what Mr. Z was saying with what Mr. Z is saying now. Ebony K. Williams says she wants a man that when he walk in the room, he's the man. That's what she said. There's a number of women, including black women, that's what they really want. Okay, so you saying you need, and other black women need men who are not insecure. She's the one. If she's the, I guess, the famous one or the notable one or the one that's making moves. Ebony K. Williams said, no, actually, I want the man. He's the one making the moves. All right, fine. Y'all disagree on that one. But later on in her comment, what did she say? Other women are primarily concerned with looks. Ooh, god damn. Now, ma'am, if black women, and we have studies on this, are more concerned with the looks of a man than anything else, do you see how we end up here? Uh-oh. Do you see how we end up here? Huh? This is an attorney, semi-famous. Huh? I keep on saying Ebony K. was just semi-famous, even though she's been on TV shows and whatnot. I'm not trying to insult the lady. My apologies, Miss Williams. And she just said it. Other women are primarily concerned with looks, as Mr. Z asked before. Could Haley Bailey have, and recall, let's pause in the previous statement, recall Haley Bailey was being encouraged, especially when people found out, black women found out, that she was dating DDG. Many black women were overtly and openly saying she needed to go date one of these white Disney stars. Ooh, goddamn. One of you square-ass white dudes. Is Mr. Z lying? Is Mr. Z making that up? Or do we got to go pull the comments that you know she read? Ooh, goddamn. No. Haley Bailey made a choice to go with what turns her on. It wasn't about whether he would be intimidated by her. It had nothing to do with her having only 1.2 dating on the score or 2.1 dating on the score. She doesn't have that much experience. No, she went with what turns her on. Once again, to my title, in defense of the average, the dusty, and DDG. These women make conscious choices. And if when it falls apart, here come women like Miss Cindy Noor to say, no, it's because we don't have that many experiences, and it's because we are higher moral character, and the men they got chances with other women, and yawn. Huh? Just saying. Are you sure, Miss Cindy Noor? It's not because Haley Bailey wanted that red button pushed by DDG, and that's why she went with DDG. It had nothing to do with the lack of experience. It had nothing to do with what advice she was getting from whoever she was getting it from, mother, aunts, her older sister. Huh? Are we sure that we're not dealing with suburban women? Same thing with Sky Jackson. Same thing with Keke Palmer. They want what they want for Sky Jackson and for Haley Bailey, and from what we can see from Chloe Bailey, they want that red button pressed by certain type of men, namely certain type of black men. For Keke Palmer, she want a certain type of looking baby. Ooh, goddamn, see. That's why she was out here with the white dudes, and now she with the light-skinned dude. Huh? Ah. And even with that, the framing of DDG, I think, is woefully disrespectful and dismissive. He's not a hood dude. DDG strikes you as a round-the-way brother that like playing video games and like joking. Black man with dreads is not automatically hood. Jesus Christ, you would think people understand this. Black people understand this. Huh? But once again, when we're speaking about black women in relationship to black men, black women are infallible. And as you said, Miss Cynthia Noir, black women have higher moral character than black men, by and large. And that just sounds like, well, much of the
This is
same.
a song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
Huh? Sounds like stuff we've been hearing forever now. But
A lot
continuing.
of men across the board, race aside, okay? A lot of men want to be the bad bitch in the couple. They want to be the one with the most success. They want to be the reason why the family has to pack up and move across country. They want to be the one when they walk into a room, everyone's asking about him and his success and his journey, and she's just the arm candy and the side, just there for his glory and fame and all that stuff. Men don't like being the arm candy. They say they do, but in practice, I think it eats away at their masculinity and their male ego.
Ah, but ma'am. See, you're saying men, and you're doing this interesting dance. You're saying men, but the black community, unfortunately, currently is led by its women. The black community is a matriarchy if you want to be kind, a gynocracy if you want to be accurate. And because the black community is a matriarchy if you want to be kind, a gynocracy if you want to be accurate, that's not exactly the dynamic going on in the black community with black women and black men. What's really going on in the black community amongst black women and black men is...
If you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is.
You should have never gave these women the internet to tell you what it really is. Ma'am, whatever books you read on intersectionality, throw it in the incinerator. All that sounded nice 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. Throw it in the incinerator, ma'am. Because black women have the internet and they sound like
I
this.
miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up.
Uh-oh. Huh? Black men don't want to be the arm candy? Black men have a problem with this? You're saying men, but that includes black men. Once again, the black community is a matriarchy. A matriarchy if you want to be kind, a gynocracy if you want to be accurate. And the black community is chock full of black women that sound like this.
As a man, if you don't have house car job, don't look for a woman with house car job. And for the man that complain about women that do that, look for a man that has all three, and they don't have all three. We can do that. We are women. You want us. You need us. Y'all want one thing from us. And mad because we boss y'all around because you're a fucking servant. You're a provider, right? You're a protector, right? You're a security guard, and you're a goddamn assistant. Know your place. Stop being contradicting. And bow down. Because I'm sick of it.
And shout out to BGS in the house. BGS, I spam that goddamn button with that because what she said and how she said it, it's so, you can't dispute it. So we have this lady right here, Cindy Noir, speaking on the DDG and Halle Bailey situation. And let's be very clear, the real reason y'all got an issue is because DDG just not laying down and shutting up. Huh? The real reason why black women have an issue is because it's looking like Halle Bailey is playing some games with the child. And DDG won't just take it to court and be quiet about it, or just shut up and just take the parental alienation. Huh? Ah. And that lady just told you what it is. Miss Cindy Noir, it's over. That whole talk of moral superiority, it's done. It's done. First of all, you can't convince enough black men. You got the churchy types. You got the FD signifier types. I would say the Derek Jackson types, but he was lying to y'all the whole time. Ooh, goddamn, Z. You got not even Dr. Umar Johnson. He going through it right now. Ooh. Dr. Umar, now what? Ooh, goddamn, Z. Dr. Umar, now what? Your own daughter. Your baby mama weaponized your daughter against you. Huh? Miss Cindy Noir, you want to know why black men are not signing up for what you saying? And you weren't as offensive as you could have been. Let's be fair. She could have been way more offensive. This could have been a way more antagonistic video. You want to know why? Because black men go through what Dr. Umar Johnson is going through right now and watching black women laugh at him. Mr. Z got his 5 chuckles in, but for another reason. Huh? That's why. We do not subscribe to the notion that black women are morally superior to black men, nor will we ever. You'll get the FD types, you'll get the conscious Lees, huh? You'll get the foreign men in a foreign land, you'll get the Eddie, Josh, and Alvins. By the way, Josh don't even buy into that. Neither does Eddie, but he'll play along with you. Alvin does. Huh? You could smell it on Josh. He don't buy into it. He won't say it out loud, though. Maybe, maybe not. Ma'am, that's it. So, I don't know. Y'all better grab a ticket and play polygamy games. Because the masses of black men, we're just not playing that game with you with the moral superiority talk. We're just not. Huh? Big Mo, why you want me to pronounce anthropomorphized? You know I was going, oh, I didn't stumble. Ooh, look at that. I did not stumble. Let's see if we can read it. I'll read this one now. And thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Big Mo, what? Big Mo, I really look. Big Mo. I hate y'all for this. I'm addressing the video, and y'all over here getting me to do ad hominem attacks. That is not the point. That is not the point. I am addressing Miss Cindy Noir on her points in her argument. God damn. And Big Mo says, God damn it. Big Mo says, look like an anthropomorphized hippopotamus, shaking my head. Jesus Christ. Look, Miss Cindy Noir, I do not agree, but I got to read my super chats. They catch me up on the super chats, Miss Ignore. That's what they do. Huh? Ah, Adrian, hysterical. Huh? Once again, though, I'm glad that we're here because it is the song that never
This is the
ends.
song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
Huh? Ah, continuing.
And getting more attention than they do. They don't like that. And they especially don't like it when that woman is black, okay? I have seen this behavior occur with white folks too. So it's not only us who experience it. However, I would argue that it's a little bit more intense when it is us. Because as black women, we possess two setbacks in our social climate as far as being black and a woman. So I think that there is this.
Oh, no, Z, no. Not the intersectionality argument. Not the intersectionality
This is the
argument.
song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
Not the intersectionality argument.
This is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
Everyone, we are literally doing the intersectionality argument again for the 1,000,000th time. Again, yawn. Huh? Not the intersectionality argument again. Ma'am, the question for you in Kim Foster, NFD Signifier, and Conscious Lee, and all the folks. Hey, FD about to hit about 1 million subscribers if he didn't already. And as Mr. Z said, to you, Miss Cindy Noir, to FD, to Kim Foster, to Ole, to all of you. And I don't even know if you're associated with them. Just saying. Y'all could gather as many subscribers as you want. Y'all could make y'all money. Y'all could get y'all views. Y'all could go on a speaking tour. If you care about a black community, none of that means anything if you can get black men to partner up, definitely marry black women, have children in marriage with black women. If you can't get that to happen, everything y'all saying don't mean anything. And intersectionality is a prime way to get black men to skedaddle. Huh? Black men are just tired of black women weaponizing intersectionality to benign neglect black men and to dismiss what black men are saying. It's over with.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
It's donezo, ma'am. It's done. Intersectionality again. Huh? Continuing.
Woman, we have it twice as hard to be successful. So we shouldn't be outshining our male counterpart. And if we are able to, despite those setbacks, not only be successful, but our success outshine our male partner, I think it results in their male ego not only being bruised, but offended. Because what does it say that you as a black woman were able to defy those odds and come out better than me as a man? As someone who has privilege over you, how are you doing better?
But do black men actually have privilege over black women in America? See, if you only know about intersectionality, what you saying sounds standard. That's everybody knows this, right? What about social dominance order? Ooh, goddamn. Are white men truly threatened by black women, or are they threatened by black men? And who do they put the thumb on the scale against primarily? I mean, who do they delete primarily? Ooh, goddamn, Z. Who do they incarcerate primarily? Yikes. Uh-oh. Ma'am, are you sure about your argument, ma'am? Are you sure? Let's let the white man ask you.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
Huh. question still remains, what happens when black men en masse disagree? Maybe not as overtly as Mr. Z. What happens when black men disagree? Do they go monk? Ooh, goddamn. Huh? Do they date out? Oops. For those that have the money and the time, do they do passport bros? Yikes. Huh? As Trell says, twice as hard, question mark. Exactly. Ma'am, all this sounds like is another black woman weaponizing intersectionality to dismiss black men or to minimize black men's concern with black women and their behavior concerning black men. Say it again for everyone, Z. You know, black men, they're looking to oppress. They're looking to dominate, and black women, we're looking for justice and equality and freedom. Unlike black men. Huh? Ah. Continuing.
We're able to defy those odds and come out better than me as a man. As someone who has privilege over you, how are you doing better than me? I think that be happening a lot in men's brains, especially black men's brains. I hate to do that to y'all, but let's keep it a bean, let's keep it a stat. When we also factor in the systemic oppression of black men and the fact that black women are the most agreed demographic right now, we are breaking records in our career.
Ma'am, you might want to look that stat up again. Y'all don't want to find out. Look, I'm saying this as a black man to a black woman. You really don't want the white men to start checking y'all on what y'all saying with that we the most agreed of. Ma'am, you might want to check that again. I'm just saying, for your own good and your own pride and ego. But Mr. Z saying it like this as a black man to a black woman. Y'all don't want the white guys to get a hold of this. Huh? Be careful with that. Just saying. Continuing.
In a way, you know how Tyler Perry said in that video that black women should be okay with making X amount of money but dating a bus driver, whatever the hell he said. That sounds so great in theory. However, that is not what happens in practice. For most men, they cannot handle their women making more money than them.
Ah, are you sure about that, ma'am?
If you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is.
Are you sure that black men can't handle black women who earn more than them? Or is it that black women's inner white man, ooh, goddamn Z, is it that black women's inner white man, there might be a pun in there, use degrees and accolades to rain terror down on black men? God damn, Z, you said it like that? Huh? Are you sure it's a bunch of insecure black men who were raised by single mothers and dominant women who are used to dominant women? Once again, the black community is a matriarchy if you want to be kind, a gynocracy if you want to be accurate. Are you sure those same black men who are raised by dominant ass black women, mothers, aunts, grandmothers, girl cousins, older sisters, etc., those same black men who were black boys, those black men are insecure? Or is it much more of this going on in the black community?
If you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is.
Are you sure it's not a whole lot of that going on in the black community and a whole lot of this going on in the black community?
Hold on, check me, boo.
Are you sure it's not a lot of this going on in the black community?
I said what I said.
Huh? Are you, excuse me, are you sure? You said particularly black men. Are you sure that black women aren't reserving their kindest selves for non-black men.
If you want to date outside of your race, you need to be disciplined. When they say we're going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning, you better be up at 5 o'clock getting ready. They are not going to deal with the lack of discipline. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. What we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that.
Huh? Are you sure, ma'am? See, y'all talking about black men like black men are like white men? And that's not the case, and y'all know it. That's why I played what I just played. Are you sure, ma'am? It's a bunch of insecure-ass black men running around the black community, and not just a bunch of domineering, bow-down, kiss-my-ass black women running around the black community. Are you sure? Z, please don't torture us with it. Please, Z, do not torture us with the video again for the 1 zillionth time. Oh, God, thank you, BGS, for this. It was God. It was good. Heaven sent. Here you go.
As a man, if you don't have house car job, don't look for a woman with house car job. And for the man that complain about women that do that, look for a man that has all three, and they don't have all three. We can do that. We are women. You want us. You need us. Y'all want one thing from us. And mad because we boss y'all around because you're a fucking servant. You're a provider, right? You're a protector, right? You're a security guard and you're a goddamn assistant. Know your place. Stop being contradicting. And bow down. Because I'm sick of it.
Miss Noor. Miss Cindy Noor. Does that sound like a black woman that grew up in a community full of insecure men? That were insecure about a woman's power? Or does she sound like a person who's annoyed that there might be some pushback happening now? Ooh, goddamn. Huh? Ah. Does that sound like a black woman who isn't used to a community full of dominating ass women? Once again, the black community is a matriarchy if you're kind and a gynocracy if you're accurate. Huh? When this young lady speaks.
I miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up.
When that young lady speaks, I miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up. Does that sound like a black woman who has seen black men be insecure about being in the presence of black women who are dominating and domineering? Uh-oh. Huh? Just saying. This whole time this young lady is speaking. Well, continuing.
Most men, they cannot handle their women make more money than them. I get it, times are different, things have changed, but men are still pretty traditional in that. And even if they're okay with it right now, they're okay with it right now within these parameters. As long as she don't gain no more success outside of this, I'm good. But the minute her success leaves that realm he's put her in, it's not a problem. And so until men in general sit with their own masculinity, sit with their own ego and pride, and come to terms with that on their own.
Men in general, that's real slick, ma'am. That's real slick. The black community is a matriarchy if you're kind, a gynocracy if you're accurate. Men in general got to come to terms with this? Or do you mean everyone but black men? Huh? Continuing.
Gosh, they were. So over the past few days, Halle
Wrong
Bailey
one,
has
y'all.
been the talk of the town, and unfortunately,
Oh, that was the end of the first. That was only the first half, Z? Continuing.
Us more of a black woman because we're able to hold a black man down. And, you know, no. No matter if I hold him down or let me go, my skin's still black. So, no, good try, but no. We are taught that in order for us to receive the love we deserve, we must sacrifice a whole lot of ourselves, our peace of mind, our stability to get that. We are not taught that we are deserving of love because we are. We are instead taught that in order to be deserving of love, we have to suffer to get it. That suffering is the prerequisite to love. That don't help us a good goddamn at all, okay? Because when you romanticize suffering as the price you pay for love, we go out and look for suffering. We go out and look for projects in men. We go out and look to try to change men because that is the down payment to the love we want to get. That does not aid and help us in choosing better. It just does not at all, actually. The romanticization of struggle love is, to me, one of the biggest factors into why we choose poorly. And it's because of how we are taught to look at love as Black women. And I think that is also part of our historical trauma.
Struggle love. The romanticization of struggle love. I don't like. Earlier on in her conversation, she spoke about slavery and Jim Crow. That sounds like a whole lot of struggle, right? In Black families having to go through mass incarceration and whatnot, that sounds like a whole lot of struggle. The crack era, crack epidemic, that sounds like a whole lot of struggle. Are Black people romanticizing struggle? Like I said earlier in a previous stream, yeah, maybe in some hip hop culture, maybe a little bit. But are Black people romanticizing struggle, or are Black people going through struggle? And this idea of struggle love as if this is not just the life. It's just off. It's off. Originally, you were speaking about Halle Bailey and DDG, and that was the framing, right? That's the, or at least the foundation, not the framing so much, but the foundation of this conversation. Did Halle Bailey struggle? Ooh, goddamn, Z. Is she not a child star? Yikes. Did she not make a choice to be with DDG because maybe he turned on that red button? Maybe that red button was inflamed? Huh? Why can't it be that Halle Bailey liked what she saw, she liked what she heard, she made a choice and it didn't work out? As Miss Ebony K. Williams said, why couldn't Halle Bailey have gone for looks, at least what she found attractive? Because that red button was on fire. And she made a choice and it didn't work out. Why can't it be that? Huh? And Eric Deadman says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Eric says, Z, this is pure projection on her part. BGS showed Michelle Obama's ruthlessness, resentful. I said ruthlessness. I don't know. I wouldn't be ruthless. She's not ruthless. Well, at least not from what we saw. Anyway, Z, this is pure projection on her part. BGS showed Michelle Obama's resentfulness and disdain for Barack's success on his stream yesterday. I gotta check it out. I missed it. Michelle believes that should have been her success. I would agree. That's not a conversation that the Black community is ready to have, though. Because the Black community, what Black women in the Black community do is they hide over this patriarchal talk as if the Black community is patriarchal. Black women get to move in the shadows under the umbrella of patriarchy as if this is the Asian community or different types of Asian community. We know different ethnicities and nationalities. As if this is white society, as if this is Latinos. Huh? So Black women get to play this game where there's not Black women who resent Black men's success. As if there's not, what was that, Adric that called a young lady Munchkin? Yeah, Adric, right? As if there's not young women that tell black men to bow down in so many words, sometimes overtly, like the young lady did. Huh? Ah, huh? So the framing in the black community is black men are weak, pathetic losers who aren't as moral as black women, but yet black men are still oppressive, mean, abusive people. How is this possible? How do both of these things occupy the same space at the same time? So Eric saying here that Michelle Obama is resentful towards Barack because that should have been her. If Michelle overtly said it, if she was on The View and said it, you would still watch black women comp, please. Well, you know, because let's say we had a bunch of black women listening in, they would be in the comments right now saying, "No, y'all don't got no proof of that. No, that's what y'all projecting." And then tomorrow, Michelle was on The View and she overtly said, "Well, I mean, she's right. You know, black men, patriarchy, and yawn. I get it. I understand. Okay, yeah, that's it." The black community is a matriarchy if you want to be kind, a gynocracy if you want to be accurate, and black women do what they want to do in the black community. They move about and do what they want to do. And then they get to play damsel in distress. They get to play hapless, helpless victim, namely of black men, if and when the things that they did because they wanted to don't work out. Black women are obsessed with negative liberty. They get to pretend like they don't, or they're not, better yet, if and when things fail, and they're probably going to fail. Negative liberty is freedom from interference by other people. Negative liberty is primarily concerned with freedom from external restraint. Freedom from interference by other people. Freedom from external restraint. Huh? So all of this black men's egos and black men's pride and being second fiddle, huh? As Adric says, why be second fiddle to her husband? Being second fiddle to your wife, if y'all are married. In the black community, you're probably not married. Ooh, goddamn. Ma'am, once again, whatever you read about intersectionality, throw it in the incinerator. It got y'all out here talking retarded. Huh? Continuing.
Look at love as black women. And I think that is also part of our historical trauma and generational trauma. We are taught to pity black men, essentially, and to look at them as, oh, you poor black men, y'all have it so hard. Let me give you grace and understanding and let you lean on me while you get you together. And while that sounds great in theory, it does not all
Get you together in which way, ma'am? It better not be financial. Black men earn more than black women in America. Goddamn. Uh-oh. Black men earn more than black women in America, ma'am. Black men have less children than black women in America, ma'am. It is more likely for a black man to end up with a single mother than it is for a black woman to end up with a single father, or a father with children, a man with children, a black man with children, ma'am. So when you say black men leaning on black women until he get himself together, are you sure about that? In which way, ma'am? Huh? Are you sure?
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
Huh? Continuing.
Because we think that in doing that down payment of being with him when he had nothing, that when he has everything, he will want to share it with us. That is not what is guaranteed to happen, though. Has it happened sometimes? Yes. Does it happen every time? No. Does it happen most times? Hell no. What tends...
Ma'am, there's no guarantees in love. Ooh, goddamn. There's... What did I say? All's fair in love and war. Say it again, Z. All's fair in love and war. Ooh, goddamn. There are no guarantees. I'm glad you said it. Huh? Black women want guarantees. Women writ large. That's not even a black woman thing. They want guarantees for handing out the box. Huh? God forbid they actually fall in love with you. They want you strapped to them forever. You got to pay them a goddamn ransom to get away from them. Absolutely not. There's no guarantee that if we fall in love and I give you the box that you're going to stay forever and ever no matter what. Yeah. I thought we were off the plantation, ma'am. I didn't know that White Massa just gave you the whip now. I thought we were off the plantation. I thought that was the whole point of the Civil War. Wait, excuse me? Did I miss something? Did Mr. Z miss something? Did we not get the memo? Should I be waiting for the letter in the mail? I thought that was the whole point of ending slavery in America. I thought, wait a minute, was it about freedom and liberty? Wait a minute, what? No guarantee. Yes, ma'am. That's called being an adult. Huh? No guarantee. Ma'am, women file for 70 to 80% of divorces, 90% if she's college educated. Out of divorces in America, women are filing for 70 to 80% of them, 90 if she's college educated, ma'am. You want to talk about guarantee? Once no-fault divorce happened, the divorce rate skyrocketed. You want to talk about guarantee? Ma'am, women initiate 90% of breakups. Are we saying women are so infallible that those 90% of breakups are quote-unquote justified? I mean, I can use the word justified because you're saying guaranteed. Huh? Ah, guaranteed. Inspired Truth says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. She sounds like she has to pay. I hate y'all for this, man. I hate y'all for this. I hate y'all for this. Huh? Ah, thank you for the super chat, Inspired Truth. Thank you for the super chat. Mr. Z trying to the arguments. We're getting to the arguments here. Right? And Vince says, and let me read this one now, and thank you for the super chat. So all black men are burdens? Question mark. True. Look, as y'all heard what the young lady said, we're leaning on them until we get ourselves together. Black men are leaning on black women. First off, if that's true, then what would be the problem? Oh, you have the nerve to leave afterward. Huh? That's what she means by no guarantee. Black women help build black men. Once again, that's not actually what's going on here. But okay, fine with the narrative. Black women help to build black men as black women are leaning, right? Black women are leaning on black men. And this gives you, don't worry, she gonna get to it. This gives you that air of like, what's he get on, he leave your ass for a white girl type talk. And you know what that
This
is?
is a song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on, my friend.
Huh? Somebody tells you he's lying. All this talk of black men leaning on a black woman and the black woman got to build a black man up, right? And there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees in this. How old is that goddamn Mary J. Blige song? She said that, what, 20 plus, well, closer, damn, that 30 years ago. Huh? But you let black women talk. But there's no guarantee that if we're in a relationship that he won't be strapped to me and I can do whatever I want to do to him and talk to him however and treat him however forever. I mean, I helped to build
that we sometimes have that resting bitch face. Get rid of it, because that's going to immediately intimidate a white guy to be like, oh, yeah.
Why did you play that, Z? Get rid of that resting B face. Uh-oh. How you building with a man when you stay with the resting B face? Huh? He's leaning on you, and yet you sound like this.
If you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is.
I mean, if you're belittling him, if he's quote unquote broke, okay, fine. I mean, he's leaning on you, and you're belittling him. Wouldn't that mean that the second he get on, he gonna leave you? I'm just a thought, just something to think about, just something to consider. If the black community is a matriarchy, if you want to be kind, a gynocracy, if you want to be accurate, and you find yourself in the most unfortunate position ever, in the most unenviable position ever, having to lean on a black woman, oh boy. The black community is already a gynocracy, and then you gotta lean on a black woman. Oh, once again,
If you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is.
Ah. Huh? Continuing.
Low and building with him, as he begins to get his shit together, you become the sole memory or representation of his past failings, of when he was at his lowest. When he looks at you, all he sees is when he was at his lowest, which then makes him begin to resent you for.
Black women gotta be in an echo chamber, and all they do is talk to each other. They never peer outside the echo chamber. Is what we're saying to each other, could we possibly be wrong about that? Or are we just gonna keep on saying the same thing to each other and then saying the same thing to the rest of the world, namely black men, over and over
It is a
again?
song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
So let me get this right. A black man who has a black woman who rides with him through the ups and downs. When he gets on, he's going to leave her, or there's a likeliness that he leaves her, even though she rode with him through the ups and downs. Samuel L. Jackson has entered the room. Goddamn, Z. Denzel Washington has entered the room. Goddamn, Z. Ooh, goddamn. Uh-oh. Huh? Yeah. Huh? Isn't Judge Mathis trying to hold on to his marriage for dear life right now? Uh-oh. Huh? So let me get this right. Once again, a black man who builds with his woman, black woman, or has to lean on his black woman when he doesn't have it. Once he get on, you'll leave your ass for a white girl type talk. Once again, Denzel Washington has entered the chat. Huh? Yikes. Huh? Anyway, continuing.
Is when he was at his lowest, which then makes him begin to resent you for loving him when he was at his lowest and didn't even love himself. Okay? What tends to happen is he no longer wants to.
Does this even make sense? Continuing.
Him of his struggle. And he ain't struggling no more. And now he wants somebody who is indicative of who he can pull now.
Ma'am, if you want to be honest, we'll just cheat on you with the fine chick. Goddamn, Z. Z, don't tell the secrets. No, we gonna tell you tonight. Ma'am, no. You stay married to the ice princess. You put her in a big house. You buy her all the nice things. You make sure your kids are super straight private school. Here we come. Cars at 16. Here we come. We're not divorcing the ride or die, ma'am. That's not how it works. The losers do that. We cheat on you with the super bad chick. That's what we do. And we put her in a nice condo around the corner. Goddamn, Z. Stop telling the secret, Z. If we're going to go off of movie tropes, as Adric said, if we're going to go off of movie tropes, that's the way it's supposed to be, ma'am. We don't leave you. This is not Waiting to Excel. Goddamn. No, ma'am. You stay married to the woman that rode with you. But now your money allows for you to pipe the super bad chicks who you're not gonna leave your wife for the chicks that are only with you for the money. You know they only messing with you for the money, but you still want to pipe. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna cheat on your wife with the super bad chick. Throw some money on her and tell her to leave. I don't pay them to pipe, I pay them to leave. Huh? What are you talking about? God, the color purpling of the black community, Waiting to Excel, 4-color girls, Brewster's Place, whatever the hell. It's these same tropes over and over and over again. And black women can't help but say the same thing to themselves and to others over and over
This is the
again.
song that does it end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
Huh? And black men, to be frank with you, ma'am, y'all can't get enough black men. You and other black women like you, black men that subscribe to this, or at least pretend to subscribe to this, the issue with the numbers are even more exaggerated than the 2 million more black women than black men, because you can't get enough black men to subscribe to the idea that black women are morally superior. You can't get enough black men to sign on to the idea that once they get on, they're going to leave a black woman for a more attractive black woman. Oh, Z, you gotta be specific, Z. For the lighter, fairer skin, lighter eye, straighter hair, exotical looking black woman. The quote unquote preference. Huh? Ah, it's the same thing over and over again. The same story that black women are telling themselves and are attempting to convince black men of. First, as we said, black men earn more than black women. Maybe the issue is too many black women are having children before the age of weight, but they're not married. It may not be an age problem as much as it's a marriage problem. But once again, too many black women, 70-some-odd% of black women are having children out of wedlock before the age of 24, 25, ma'am. 70-some-odd%, 75, 77, something like that. But that's something that we don't want to talk about. It's definitely not
This is the
this.
song that does it end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
We definitely not talking about it enough for us to sing that. Just saying, continuing.
And now he wants somebody who is indicative of who he can pull now that he isn't struggling. AKA usually someone lighter and whiter. Let's keep it a beat, let's keep it a stat. Kevin Hart is the perfect example of that, but I digress. Black women being
This is the song that does it end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
of our love results in us choosing poorly because we are choosing a project. We are not choosing a man who is whole. We are choosing a man that we can see ourselves having some kind of impact in his success story because that's what we're supposed to do. Terrible teaching, god-awful teaching. I do not want any kind of struggle love around me at all. Keep that shit away from me. I try to.
But is it struggle love Are you sure it's struggle love? Or are black women making a choice based off of who they find attractive primarily? That's if I agree with your framing, which, by the way, I don't. Let's let Ebony K. Williams say
I
it.
look for a man who people are gravitating towards, and not women necessarily. I'm looking for the leader of the pack. So I am attracted to a man. He could be 5'9". Like there's a man in real life right now who, on a good day, he might be 5'9". But when he's in the room, everybody's almost lining up literally to get some time with him. That shit's sexy. That shit turns me on. Because that's the man whose lens is the driving force of the vision. I like a visionary, Torre. I like a man with some excellence. I like a man who, when I come home from an average everyday experience, and I say, listen, sweetheart, I'm managing, I'm contemplating this move and this move and this and how this plays out. And I want a man, Torre, that can actually advise me. Who can say,
wait a minute. I was with you until then.
Okay.
You
can go where the hell you want to go.
Well, no, I want to push back on that 1 second because I totally understand. I want alpha man. Do most women have that reaction to the alpha man? No,
I don't think most women. I think me and most women don't go together. I think no, I'm really serious.
But isn't alpha what most women are attracted to?
I don't think, not necessarily. I'm looking, just thinking about the women that I know that are partnered and married.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I think a lot of women are attracted primarily to physical. I think they're leading with that.
Okay.
Yeah, like first and foremost, you have to look good to me.
Let's address that clip again. What I loved about what Ebony did here, if you ever watch this interview, Torre is just lauding her and just saying, it's and he's doing the whole thing of, men are insecure and men are insecure with women's success, just like this young lady is doing. Men are insecure with a woman like you and how successful you are. It was so beautiful about this segment right here. Is Ebony pretty much says, yeah, but actually I'm the one that's looking for like the boss hog dude, I'm looking for Superman. I'm looking for the man, and she says it. I'm looking for the man that when he walks into the room, he's the man. And that's why you saw Tori go, yeah, that framing got shot to crap, didn't it? Huh? That kissing her ass all through that interview, guys, right there. What Ebony K. Williams did right there was say, actually, I'm the one who's insecure with being with the man I think is beneath me. I want a man that he's the man when he walk in the room. God forbid she would have said, yeah, actually, most women are looking for like alpha dudes. Would have ripped his whole argument apart, because the argument, as this young lady is trying to present, is that there's droves of black women who are hyper successful, super successful, and black men, these loser bum ass black men, are insecure. And what the Ebony K. Williams tells you is, at least for her and other black women like her, oh no, they looking for a man that when he walk in the room, he's the man. And I would argue at least half of black women are like Ebony K. Williams. They sound like this young lady, like Miss Cindy Noir on the screen. They sound like her because this is what y'all are taught in them feminist ass classes, is to always make yourselves victims of black men. Speak about how black men are so insecure and so bothered by successful black women, even though black men make more. There are more black men millionaires. There are more black men billionaires. There are more black men that make six figures. Black women don't start outnumbering black men until under $50,000 a year. Check the numbers if you doubt me, Miss Cindy Noir. From $50,000 all the way up, there are more black men. Huh? Going back to Torre, what Mr. Z loves about that clip is the look on Torre's face where he's like, yeah, what happened? Huh? You didn't realize you were talking to a boss girl. You forgot you were talking. Wait, you do realize that, but you tried to give her all of the men are insecure, the men are insecure, and the men. And yeah, she was going along with you right up until right there. Huh? Mr. Z, because I played the clip, I'm going to link it in the description box. This is an old interview. This is from like last year or the year before. Huh? Mr. Ship to You says, and this is a great comment, translation, I want a man that's superior to me without ever acting superior to me, and that will never admit, yes, superior to me. Huh? That's a great comment. Huh. And Nama says, and I'm gonna address this. And Nama says she's a black widow. Ebony K. Williams isn't looking for a spouse but a business partner. Here's the kicker. Yes, for all of us millennials, Xers, all the adult Gen Z, we all grew up under neoliberalism, bro. Even if Xers were born before Carter's administration, definitely before Reagan's administration, we all were raised under neoliberalism. Most women think this is what they're looking for till they run into the wall of what it actually looked like. God damn, see. I would argue all that love talk, yeah, they mean it. And then you start asking them about the money part, and ooh. Then that's when Neighbor's comment comes into effect. Once again, she's a black widow. Ebony K. Williams isn't looking for a spouse but a business partner. Y'all forgot all these people running around here talking about marriage as a business, including in the black community. Yikes. All that sound good until you actually see what that look like. Huh? Telescope, this is a great comment. Telescope says Ebony K is looking for an archetype, not a flesh and blood human being. Huh? What's love got to do with it? Rest in peace, Tina Turner. Huh? Adric says business without the bus. Hysterical. Only if he drives the bus, Adric. Only if he drives the bus. I said drive. Sorry, excuse me. Say it the wrong way. Say it the wrong way, Z. You try to make the joke and the joke landed flat because you ain't saying the right way. Only if he owns the bus, Adric. Only if he owns the bus. Huh? Not if he drives it, but if he owns it. Huh? But back to this young lady telling us how insecure black men are. Huh? And putting one foot in speaking about men in general and put one foot in speaking about black men in specific. And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Continuing.
I tried to raise a man. I've tried to build him up, and I felt stupid as hell.
I tried to raise a man. You can't raise no man as a grown-ass woman. Can't raise no grown-ass man. Continue. You know what? Continuing.
It ain't, because the thing about it is when you date through the lens of struggle love, that leads to you not having a partner, but having a son. And you're now his mother. And it's really hard to maintain respect for a man that you're having to pull up onto your level.
Respect a man that you have to pull onto your level. Ma'am. Black men are on less antidepressants than black women. Goddamn. Men in general are on less antidepressants than women. Men in general, black men specifically, earn more than women in general, black women specifically. When you say pull onto your level, that sounds good. That's like a movie line coming from one of these black actresses. This is Angela Bassett and Waiting to Exhale all over again. Goddamn, these movies are haunting us. 30 and 40 plus years later, they're still haunting us. Pull onto your level. That sounds good. That's a nice one-liner from a black movie. Huh? Pull onto your level. What does that even mean? Black women are more educated than black men, formally educated. Okay, fine. Black men still earn more. Black men are still in less debt. Black men work more hours. Huh? When you say pull onto your level, there are less single black fathers than single black mothers. In other words, there are far more black single mothers than black fathers. When you say pull on your level, what do you mean? Because if we're speaking as if who's the bigger burden, black women, y'all really don't want to have that conversation in the public square. If we start speaking about writ large, who's the bigger burden, black men or black women? That is not a conversation that black women want to honestly have in the public square. Y'all better be happy that black men have been doing a really good job up until recently with just letting y'all talk. And it really wasn't our choice because white society had the thumb on the scales for you. Huh? Ah. Continuing.
Y'all should be at the same level, or he's pulling you up to his level. Amen. This pulling him up to yours, not much good can come for that. I promise you. And you feel silly doing it. So I do it, right? We gotta stop that. Black women, leave that struggle bus behind, because it's not faring well for us at all. Clearly. Now that I've gotten the reasons why I think black women choose poorly in dating out the way, I do want to talk about some other aspects of this topic that really just I don't like, okay? One of those things being how we are often labeled as race loyal. I hate that shit. I hate it so much because what? It is as if we are the only demographic of women who are advised to not be race loyal. And I get it. I get that it's slim pickings for us. I get the fact that I think the race.
I appreciate what she's doing right now. She's pushing back on the swirl of divestiture talk. I hear you. Shout out to her. But that slim pickings comment, Z, she about to make a point that you might agree with. You gonna pick on that slim pickings comment? Yes, Mr. Z gonna nitpick. See, that's, ma'am, are you sure black men are the ones that you have to choose from that are the slim pickings? Say it differently, Z, because you frame that all the time wrong. Are you sure black women are the ones with the slim pickings? Ma'am, are you sure you wanted to use the word slim? Uh-oh, Z, you about to do it. Okay, let's do it, Miss Sydney Noor. Not in that way. When you say slim pickings, if we factor in children, ooh, goddamn, weight, debt, are you sure black women are the ones with the quote-unquote slim pickings? Once again, if we factor in, if you want to go holistic, if you want to go holistically, we could have a holistic conversation. Mr. Z doesn't suggest it, but if you want to have a holistic conversation, we can have a holistic conversation. Slim pickings, and we factor in debt, and we factor in children, ready-made children, a ready-made family, huh? And we factor in weight and fitness. Are you sure, ma'am? I didn't even speak about disposition and attitude yet. I didn't even want to go there. And once again, if we speak about weight and fitness, who's coming to who with the ready-made family? Who's more in debt? Who earns more? Are you sure, Miss Cindy Noir, that it's the women with the slim pickings? Huh? Ah. And Jake says, Z, you didn't even say body count, attitude, low key, coon behavior, pasta and lobster. Oh, goddamn. Huh? And you're right. Huh? Continuing.
That I think the ratio of black men to black women is like 1 to 10 or 10 to 1. Like for every one black man is 10 black women. So if that black man, if he chooses a black woman, what are the other 9 to do? I get it. But the fact that black women have, not a choice, have to consider dating outside of our race to have a fair shot at love, that just don't sit well in my spirit, because we don't see any other demographic of women receiving the same kind of advice. For other races of women, dating outside their race is a choice. It's because you just felt like it. It is an elective. It isn't a core class. For us, it is being positioned to us as a core prerequisite of a class. Like we have no choice if we want to try to love. And I just, that don't sit well with me. As a black woman who wants black ass babies, this idea that we have to forsake those desires to find love, and don't get me wrong, there are plenty of black women who are finding love outside of home and loving it, and I love that for them. I do.
Plenty black women finding love outside of home. That's actually not true, ma'am. What, 6% of marriageable age black women are married outside the race, something like that? Black women are doing a whole lot of interracial sex, secret sex with non-black men. Huh? I can't play it because if I play Cree's clip where that's a black woman, ma'am, if I play the clip from Cree saying how much secret sex is going on between black women and white men, it's gonna reset your comments. That's the only reason I'm not gonna play it right now. Ma'am. Huh. You know what? We're just gonna let that go. We're just gonna let that go.
My mind around me doing it. Personally, I do not want to marry interracially. I do not want the task of blending cultures like that. I don't want to share a culture with someone who don't look like me. I don't like that. I don't like how in so many interracial couples, the fact that y'all interracial is like the root and like the cornerstone of y'all's partnership. I don't like the idea of my non-black partner being excited and learning how to use seasonings because of me. I don't like the idea of my non-black partner getting geeked over me teaching them how to have some rhythm. That kind of shit just, it dances too close along the tokenism line, and I can't get jiggy with that. Not to mention...
You know what's fascinating? As much as she's saying this, fine, okay. There are women in her comments still telling her, hey, but it don't gotta be a white man. There's other ethnicities and they got rhythm and they season their food. Hey, who said coon earlier? Where's the comment? Where's the comment? Mr. Z, I just read that. comment. Where did it go? There we go, Jake. And Jake says, once again, Z, you didn't even say body count, attitude, low-key coon behavior. Why don't we call black women coons when they coon it? Why don't we call this whole pasta, lobster, drooling, tucking yourself under the white man's scrotum, begging him to, begging him to paint your face? Ooh, goddamn, Z. Why don't we call that the coon behavior it is? Huh? Why don't we call it the coon behavior it is? You see this segment right here? She's like, hey, I'm saying all this stuff about black men using DDG because this is what black women do. This is what people do. I'm not even going to blame just black women on that one. They go after one person and make that the avatar for the group. Okay, fine. Huh? So Miss Cindy Noir is engaging in that with DDG. And she gets to this segment, she says, but I don't want a non-black man. And I definitely don't want a white man. I can't do it. I don't want to have one of them videos do it. Oh, look, I taught him how to do the 2 steps. I hear you, Miss Cindy Noir. I hear you. But even in this, in her comments, there's a few of them black women. Yeah, but Miss Cindy Noir, they telling you you're going too far off the reservation. Huh? You always got to threaten black men with non-black men. We already know the numbers that ain't looking good. Shout out to all you black women who continue to try to threaten black men with non-black men. We seen those marriage numbers, it ain't looking good. Miss us with your loyalty talk, yawn. Huh. But no, Miss Cindy Noir. For the way black women talk, yeah, actually, for the way black women talk, even you, ma'am, maybe you should date out. Huh? Maybe you and other black women like you, ma'am, should date out. Because black men are like this with y'all right now. That's what black men are on with you. Black men on this with black women, ma'am.
Bye, Felicia.
The framing, the insecure black men, all this talk that you had throughout this, yawn. So maybe it would behoove you and other black women who think and feel like you, and black men are insecure, and black men colorism talk, and right, black women have slim pickings. Once again, right, slim pickings, right? Well, maybe you should date out.
Mario, Jorge, Cartwright, Shane Song, we got a thrift store of leftover bitches. They're leftover because apparently it ain't enough niggas is worth a damn. Whatever. Point is they left over. We need you to come pick them up. No instruction manual. Figure it out. Sprinkle some white ice on it. Maybe, I've heard the white ice is colder. Sprinkle some white ice on it. It goes with everything. If you come within the next 24 hours, we'll give you a complimentary book on how to date black women for white men. That's a $4 value.
Just saying, ma'am. Just saying. Right? Continuing.
If having kids is already a selfish act, then I want them kids to look as much like me as they possibly can. I personally do not want biracial kids, okay? I really value my black ass skin, and I want to have kids who I can look at and they are undeniably black. I just want that. And if I can't have that, then I don't want kids. Hey, that's me, okay? If parenting is already selfish, then bitch, let me go ahead and make sure it's in the parameters that I want that's best for me. And for me, I need to look at my kids and see chocolate drops. I need to see that. That's just for me. But it pains me how so many black women feel the same way, yet we are being told to stop being race loyal and explore our options. I'm not there yet. And when you listen to some black women who date interracially or marry interracially, they'll say, I didn't think I'd be here. I was trying to be with a black man. I was black man down. It just happened. And
were they really that loyal, though? Did they really have such slim pickings of black men? And I didn't think I was going to be over here, but is it that, or were they more like this?
If you want to date outside of your race, you need to be disciplined. When they say we're going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning, you better be up at 5 o'clock getting ready. They are not going to deal with the lack of discipline. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that.
Were they like that? Were they like this?
This white man gets on his page and says, the love of my life is probably a Takis eating black girl, and I'm over here with these stuck-up white hoes. And I see black women in the comments eating this shit up. on their knees, so happy to get acknowledged. Y'all are so embarrassing. I swear, if we were still slaves, them white men would have had a motherfucking field day with y'all hoes. Get up, stand up, get a grip. Like, for real, this shit is so embarrassing. I was appalled. You know how y'all get secondhand embarrassing, bitch? I was appalled. Y'all need to stand up. These white men do not want y'all for real.
Let me explain what.
Huh? Ah. Even a black woman's like, God damn, the secondhand cringe. Something to consider, Miss Sydney Noir. Just want you to know, other women have internet now. Y'all say these things, y'all make these grand announcements. Y'all proclaim it. We're more moral. We only go over there because we don't have any choice. We only date these non-black men because we don't have a choice. The black men are insecure. And then I find other black women that say, yeah, if you earn less than me, I will belittle you. Oops. You find black women that say, yeah, I'm waiting for the white dude. The only reason that I ain't choose upon him is because he didn't choose upon me. Uh-oh. Huh? Something to consider. Continuing.
And I love that for them. I don't want to be in that number. And so many of us don't. But it also results in us being on the sidelines more. Not having as many options. Not having as full of a dating life. It's a catch-22. And so I get why we're told that. But it also makes me sad why we're told that, you know? The other thing that I want to address in this topic of black women choosing poorly is the lack of sisterhood amongst each other in the process of us choosing poorly. Now, let me preface this by saying, the only time I can understand a lack of support in women choosing poorly is when that poor choosing is dangerous for her friend group to be around. That's one. I can also understand not supporting women who choose poorly when they want to use you as their friend, as the emotional support system to navigate and get through their toxic relationship. And what I mean by that is your girlfriend coming to you after every argument to vent, to talk about how much you can't stand that man, to do all of that, just to be back in that man face the next day and rinse and repeat, not fair to your friends. And it makes it very hard to want to support y'all's union when you are using your friends as the emotional support your partner should be giving you on their own to get through being with said partner. And then when you tell the friend, girl, this ain't it, she get mad at you for saying it. Yeah, I don't like that. And I think that one deserves support. Girl, go to hell. I get that. What I don't get, though, and this is where I'm going to bring Halle Bailey back into the story. What I don't understand is this current commentary from black women saying, that's the man she chose. That's what she wanted. I don't feel sorry for her. This is what she wanted.
Ma'am, but that is what she wanted. I don't know if you were listening, but black women, and this, Mr. Z doesn't agree with this, by the way. Black women were telling her, go get you a white man. Ooh, goddamn. Go do the dude with the white man. No, but she wanted DDG. She found him attractive. That red button. Huh? She made a choice. A conscious choice. Is it possible for a black woman to make a conscious choice? Not a slim pickings choice, not a limited choice. We see it with, literally, shout out to Sergeant Lee. That's why I have the link in the description box. We saw it with Kiki Palmer. Steve Harvey said, hey, I got the dudes for you. She wasn't going. Continuing.
I get it. I get it from the standpoint of we do have choices to make. And if someone is showing you who they are and you aren't believing them, there are consequences for those choices. However, I can't get jiggy with saying things like, this is what she gets for ignoring the advice we've given her and choosing this man anyway. I have a hard time co-signing that when we're talking about a new mom who at one point was dealing with postpartum depression and a child's father who was exacerbating said postpartum depression through his childish antics.
There we go. his childish antics, postpartum depression. Oh, so Haley Bailey playing games with the kid is postpartum depression. DDG wanting to see his son and going public with it is childish. Okay, there's an argument to be made about that. Once again, the framing is that a black woman, for the 1 zillionth time, is the victim of a black man and his childish antics. Oh
This is
boy.
the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
Huh? Continuing.
She don't deserve that. You know, like she don't deserve to be cyberbullied by her child's father. I get warning her. I get that we might have seen some signs leading up to that. I get it, but that does not mean that because she chose him, she deserves that kind of treatment. And I've heard that, you know, she's been a little messy with him too. I'm not saying the girl is a victim per se, but what I am saying.
Wait, what? Whoa. She been a little messy with him too, but you know, I'm not saying that she's a victim. Ma'am. This whole think piece you used DDG and Haley Bailey as the frame, or better yet, the foundation of your argument. To come back around and say, okay, I heard she was a little messy with him too. I'm not saying that she's a victim, a perfect victim. Ma'am. First, I don't actually I agree with her. I don't buy into the perfect victim. You have to be a perfect victim for you to actually be a victim. With that, ma'am, homegirl is playing tit for tat. She knows how people view her, and she's using her image in mainstream media, her image in the black community, the little cute younger sister of Chloe Bailey. Huh? She's using her little mermaid ass position to make him look like the big dumb jock video gamer loser trying to embarrass her and bring down her stock. She's not being a little messy, she's being a lot messy. Huh? Huh. Continuing.
But what I am saying is I kind of get tired of how much we harp on the woman's poor choice and not enough of the man's poor behavior. It's as if we're saying he's going to be that way regardless, so you need to move as best as you can. And while I get it,
This is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
And while I get it, while I get the sentiment of that, I just can't bring myself to be as callous as some of y'all are being. For one, because a lot of y'all who are saying that this is what she gets from listening to us are not in her community. You are internet strangers voicing your opinions on the topic. Why would she listen to you? You don't know her, and she don't know you. And a few of y'all are coming across as if you are taking her, not taking heed to your advice personally, as if y'all know each other. And that is odd. When Little Mermaid first came out, and Halle was doing her press tour, and DDG was throwing a bitch fit, making a diss track, all of that, I was saying to myself, this ain't it, girl. This man is weird. This is crazy. But when she got pregnant with him, you didn't see me going, oh, that's what you get, girl. Hey, it's on you now. This is your life. You know, girl, I don't know you, and you don't know me. And that the other part of that is, we don't know Halle in the sense of we don't know where her morals and values lie either. And so.
Oh, so now we get here. Well. We don't know her morals and values either. But I thought earlier you said black women are just morally superior. They have more character and morally superior than black men. What, didn't you say that earlier though? I mean, but you kind of slipped up a minute ago and said, you know, that she might be going tit for tat with him. Well, those weren't your words. That's Mr. Z words. but she's being a little messy. Those were your words. And now you're saying we don't really know where her moral standing is. What? Huh? Now you're saying this? What?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Huh? Continuing.
Been more aligned with DD Go to Hell. We want to admit. And even if that's the case, I still don't think she deserves this current treatment. I just...
There we go. She doesn't deserve this current treatment. So exactly how should this go? So Haley should just do whatever she wanted to do with their child, his and her child. She should be able to practice parental alienation. She should hide behind the image that everyone have of her, of this innocent little Disney kid. She should be able to do all of that, and DDG just got to eat that. Or go to the judge quietly while she could be way public. Or that he could hear rumors that, yeah, I have to hear deadbeat dad. Yeah, you never see. He used to be with the kid all the time, but you know, you don't see the pictures anymore. You don't see him recording anymore. And yeah, see, I knew Haley should have never messed with him in the first place. He's just supposed to eat all of that and move in silence, not to destroy her image as she subtly destroys his. Translation: Black men, you need to fall on your sword for black women every single time, no matter what they doing or saying, no matter the character assassination, no matter if her team is out here talking crazy about you or implying and suggesting implying or suggesting horrible things about you. You're just supposed to worry about her image, but not yours. Fall on your sword. Queen, Earth, Mother, Goddess, Black woman. Continuing.
Y'all are getting weird with this. I don't feel sorry for her. This is what she wanted. This is what she got. Ooh. Because what's irksome to me about that is.
But Miss Cindy Noir, she did want DDG. She did want that. Now I agree. I agree with you to a certain extent, but you're about to make me disagree. It's coming up. But she did want. This is what she wanted. She wanted DDG. That's what she wanted. She wanted that red button pressed on by a certain type of man, and she got what she wanted. Continuing.
Women in general have a problem with dating somebody new and their friends saying, I don't know, girl, he's a little iffy, I don't know. And us not listening to that. That is a universal across age, race, socioeconomic status. We universally do that. We, due to lack of options, lack of having had somebody in a long time.
It's not lack of options. It's not lack of options. Halle Bailey, especially for under 25-year-olds, could have eeny, meeny, mighty, mo any one of these brothers. Any one of them. Any one of them. It's not a lack of options, and definitely not for her. And if you expand it outside of just black men in Hollywood, somebody mentioned Zendaya a minute ago. She could have been out here with another Tom Holland. But even if you want to stick to just black young men, Halle Bailey could have been out here with any one of these brothers in Hollywood, any one of these rappers, any one of these NBA players. It's not a lack of options, not for Haley. Huh? A lack of options. Once again. Z, how many times you gonna play this video? Yes.
This is a song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on, my friend.
Huh? Continuing.
We, due to lack of options, lack of having had somebody in a long time, we will ignore our community's advising and do what we want to do anyway. So Hallie ain't the first.
And we come all the way back around to negative liberty. Negative liberty is freedom from interference by other people. Say it again. Freedom from interference by other people. One more again, Z. Dr. Umar Johnson style. Freedom from interference by other people. Negative liberty is primarily concerned with freedom from external restraint. Say it one more again. Freedom from external restraint. One more time. Dr. Umar Johnson style again. Freedom from external restraint. Thank you for finally getting to it, Miss Cindy Noor. But Mr. Z has a feeling that you gonna fall off of it again. Okay, here we go. Continuing.
Chastising Hallie, who do the same thing your damn self. The ones in your community tell you, baby, he ain't it, and you tell them to fuck off. So this animosity towards her is just off-putting to me. And, you know, I'm also seeing a lot of commentary of women saying, decenter men, because if you had many decenters, you wouldn't be this pressed, etc. Third. And listen, as somebody who is doing the work actively to decenter men, I'm here to tell you that shit, for one, is not easy.
Ma'am, watch this. Watch this, Z. Don't say it, Z. Ma'am, it's not possible. God damn, Z. It's not even possible for same-sex loving women. You can't decenter men. The closest you can get is if you are a same-sex loving woman. If you are not a same-sex loving woman, definitely not a same-sex loving black woman, there is no decentering men, beginning, end. How Obsidian usually say it? End of. Beginning, end. There is no decentering men, ma'am. Nice try. Novel idea. That's a good idea. It ain't gonna work. Decenter men. Decenter black men. Black men are black women's universe. God damn. See, you said that. Decenter men. Huh? I need to have a homegirl from Clueless and just press the. I need to be spamming the as if button over and over again. Huh? Decenter men. Nice try. You say that's a pretty. You're actively working on it, and yet you covering DDG and Haley Bailey, but you know, not possible, ma'am. It's not that it's difficult. It's not that it's hard. It's not possible. Yeah, especially if you're not munching on another woman or being munched on. Huh? Shout out to the Rose Toys. It's not possible, ma'am, to decenter men. Shout out to the Rose Toys again. Continuing.
This is hard work. You are actively going against the grain of society in and of itself. You are opting out of normal social function. That is hard work. And as long as the patriarchy is alive and well, as long as our society still holds a good bit of social gratification in our proximity to men, we are never going to experience 100% of women being not male-centered. That's not going to happen to us. It's just not.
Let's wait a minute, ma'am. What benefit is it to society in a community for a woman not to be partnered with a man? Mr. Z had to use the word partner. What benefit is it to a society for a woman to not be partnered? There will be no children out of the deal. There will be no marriage. She won't be strapped down to anything, connected. What benefit? Well, but she got community, she has family. If she is not attached to a man, what benefit is she to anyone? God damn, Z. You gotta be so bold about it, Z. What benefit is it to the black community and to overall society if a black woman isn't? Well, we already understand how it's a benefit to white racist society. Ooh, goddamn. What benefit is it to anyone if a black woman isn't being subsidized and paid for and looked after by a black man? Once again, let me remind you that black men earn more than black women. I don't care if it's 2 cents more. Black men earn more than black women. And according to Media Man and his numbers, he just wasn't pulling out his rear end. Black men only earn less than Asian men and white men last quarter. Uh-oh. So once again, especially when you consider all the single black mothers, black women's weight, black women's debt, what benefit is it to anyone, outside of white racists, what benefit is it to anyone to have a black woman who decentered men and is not attached to a man? Huh? Which makes Telescope's comment even more poignant. And Telescope says, black women, quote unquote, decentering black men is like a fish, quote unquote, decentering water. Exactly. Continuing.
It's not, and I accept that. And so when I look at women who choose poorly in men or who end up having kids by these kind of men, I don't look down my decentered men ass nose and go, oh, well, had she did what I did, she wouldn't be here. No. No. If no women chose men, men would be insufferable, and they already are.
And there we go. So who said insufferable earlier? Who used the word insufferable earlier? Was it you, Adrian? Who said the word insufferable earlier? And I said, we're going to get back around to that. Somebody said insufferable earlier, and I told them, hey, we're going to get back to that word insufferable. I'm trying to scroll up to see who said it. Was it you, Big Mo? Big Mo might be asleep. Whoever it was who said insufferable earlier, I told you it was going to get here. It only took about a couple hours. Huh? And here you go. Starman said it was me. Okay, Starman. And here you go. So men, black men, are insufferable already. And if it wasn't for black women being attached to black men, or for the black women who haven't decentered black men would be even more insufferable. You imagine? The funniest thing in the world is hearing black women say that black men are insufferable while also complaining about their job, saying they're not likable. Goddamn. While also campaigning that they shouldn't necessarily be likable in the workplace. They should just have to be able to do their job and be competent. Imagine black women, because remember, Chrissy said the same thing. Black women are saying that black men are insufferable. Meanwhile, their interracial marriage rate is trash. Their marriage rate is trash. There's all type of negative stereotypes about them and their attitude. You got so many comedians mocking them about the neck rolling and the attitude. All the tropes about their customer service or lack thereof. And black women have the unmitigated gall to talk about who's insufferable. You could say a lot about black men, but no one is calling black men insufferable except for black women. There's a whole lot of racist stereotypes about black men, a whole lot of negative stereotypes about black men. But the only one calling black men insufferable are black women. Who's truly the insufferable ones? Black women. Huh? Who are truly the insufferable ones? Chrissy said that, used that insufferable word concerning black men. Now Miss Cindy Norris using insufferable. Insufferable. The group of people with like the lowest marriage rate in America are talking about who's insufferable. High ass divorce rate, who's insufferable. The highest children out of wedlock rate, insufferable. The most chronically single people, kidless ass people, insufferable. Huh? Insufferable. Huh.
already are. We need women out there still keeping them at bay. Okay.
There we go. We're back. We're back.
We need these. We need her. We need these girls out here to keeping their attention and time and energy. Because if we all opted out, all hell would break loose. So I don't know. I mean, from my personal.
No, ma'am. Actually, if all black women opted out, then you would just be losing your men to the snow queens.
The black kings get divorced, and then what happens? They're like, F it. We're moving on. Snow bunnies are going to clean me right out. So the snow bunnies get on top of things, and they mix, and they have this beautiful baby, and the process continues. So I do find that black kings often go to black queens first, and then they're like, snow bunny time. They'll either divorce them, dump them, and then move on. Swiftly move on. And they'll feel all cleansed, you know? Right. Anyway, on that note, do you like my nails? They're very Christmassy. It's almost Christmas. Divorce season's round the corner, which means snow bunnies warm in January. Yes.
Shout out to all the black women who keep on speaking like it's black men chasing after the snow bunny. The snow bunny told you she know you gonna fumble the bag. She know you're gonna fumble black men. She not even gonna fight you for black men first round. She know you gonna mess it up, and she gonna be right there, and she's going to get on top of things. Giggity. She telling you she gonna get on top of things. He gonna forget all about you. They're gonna have mixed babies. You heard her, huh? Ma'am, if black women in mass decided to decenter men, all that's gonna happen is non-black women are going to coalesce around black men. Let this lady tell you how it was in another country, ma'am. Just to emphasize the point.
Men in Germany are treated way differently than black women in Germany. Black men are appreciated in Germany. Black men are put in a cultural sense, in a societal sense, you are seen as interesting, whereas black women are seen as lesser.
An experience,
a novelty in which you can approach voyeuristically, and it's dehumanizing. I was a member at Soho House, and I remember seeing a black man sitting there, and there was all these white women around him glorifying him, gawking at the fact that he was existing. And I think black men need to acknowledge that their lived experience in Germany is disproportional to that of a black woman in Germany.
Ma'am, if more and more black women decide to decenter men and to hell, I'm not dating, I'm not doing it, I'm out here with the rose toy. If black women decide to do that, that just means that black men would just have to move on to the non-black women. Now, that doesn't mean all brothers would get matched up. Clearly not. We're not being hyperbolic here. But, ma'am, black women gonna have to come to terms with the fact that, at least in the dating world, it's not really the same. It really isn't. Huh? Afro National, and it really does. And Afro National says, you're seen as interesting, burns their soul. Once again, quote, you are seen as interesting, end quote, burns their soul. Huh? Ah. That's what really gets them. It's not fair. It's not fair. And you know, y'all know Mrs. Z gonna have to play it.
That is not fair! That is not fair! Fair. That is not fair! That is not fair!
So continuing, we're almost done. We're almost done, everybody. We're almost done. This is Take Your Favorite. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat.
Makes us more of a black woman because we're able to hold a black man down. And you know, no. No matter if I hold him down or let me go, my skin's still black. So no, good try, but no. We are taught that in order for us to receive the love we deserve, we must sacrifice a whole lot of ourselves, our peace of mind, our stability to get.
No one deserves love, man. Romantic love, intimate love, no one. Not just a black woman thing. No one. You make yourself lovable. There is no deserve love. What are y'all talking about? And yes, ma'am, everyone has to prove themselves to be loved. Unless, of course, you come in with the best looks ever. See, 10s, people lust after them. People are more likely to be in love with them. If you are a 10 of a man or a 10 of a woman, you just have the looks. Or if you have the resources, people are more likely to trick themselves into falling in love with you, especially if you're a man. But ma'am, no, you're going to have to work for that love. No one is deserving of love just because you exist. Outside of your parents, and even then, when you 18, they can say, yeah, I never loved you. I was pretending the whole time. Here's your bag and your clothes and you're out. Huh? No one is deserving of love. Hearing women, and this is not just a black woman thing, hearing women with this deserve of love thing, this deserve, love, deserve, no. This is why so many of y'all be so damn, talk about insufferable, mean, snarky, rude, entitled, condescending, materialistic, consumerist. And then talk about deserving of love. No, ma'am. If men can have character flaw and women don't have to sign up for it, serious character flaws, if men can have serious character flaws and women say, yeah, about that, nope, then what makes women think that they do not or cannot have serious character flaws? And men say, nope, no, everyone's deserving of love and I'm deserving of love. No, maybe not. Well, at least not for me. Men may not speak the same way. We don't emote the same way. We don't use the same language. But man, we think the same thing. No, you may not be deserving of love from me. And if enough, or if one woman has enough men that think like that, then guess what? Yeah, she will be decentering men because she has no choice. Ah, damn, see. Continuing.
A whole lot of ourselves, our peace of mind, our stability to get that. We are not taught that we are deserving of love because we are. We are instead.
No one is deserving of love. Continuing.
We have to suffer to get it. That suffering is the prerequisite to love.
Low key though, maybe not suffering, but trials and tribulation, yes. Has any Mr. Z's parents been married for going on 40 years? Trials and tribulations, maybe not quote unquote suffering, and even that you might have to go through some of that. Maybe not so much suffering, but trials and tribulations. And black women ain't trying to sign up for that. No woman really is. Nobody really is, but that's part of the deal, ma'am. For marriage and this long-term love thing. But once again, this deserving of love just because I came out the womb and I breathe and I think and I feel, yeah, from your parents. Isn't that what we're told as men, especially as black men? I ain't your mama. I ain't gonna treat you like your mama. There is no what's the world? What, excuse me, what's the world? What's the word again? The term they use? Unconditional love? No. Your mama gives you unconditional love. Isn't that what we're told as black men? And yet black women, like Miss Cindy Noor, and women writ large, because she's not the only one. It's not. I haven't only heard this from black women. I primarily have heard this from black women speaking about this deserving of love. No one is deserving of love. Maybe Mr. Z got the wrong definition of love. Huh? Continuing.
That don't help us a good goddamn at all, okay? Because when you romanticize suffering as the price you pay for love, we go out and look for suffering. We go out and look for projects in men. We go out and look to try to change men because that is the down payment to the love you want to get. That does not.
Yawn.
This is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
Continuing.
Not aid and help us in choosing better. It just does not at all, actually. The romanticization of struggle love is, to me, one of the biggest factors into why we choose poorly. And it's because of how we are taught to look at love as black women. And I think that is also part of our historical trauma and generational trauma. We are taught to pity black men, essentially, and to look at them as, oh, you poor black men, y'all have it so hard.
Is it to pity black men or is it to look down on black men? Are black women taught to pity black men, or are black women taught to look down on black men? Once again, the black community is a matriarchy if you want to be kind, a gynocracy if you want to be accurate.
As a man, if you don't have house court job, don't look for a woman with house court job. And for the men that complain about women that do that, look for a man that has all three, and they don't have all three. We can do that. We are women. You want us. You need us. Y'all want one thing from us. And mad because we boss y'all around because you're a fucking servant. You're a provider, right? You're a protector, right? You're a security guard and you're a goddamn assistant. Know your place. Stop being contradicting and bow down. Because I'm sick of it.
Are you taught to pity black men, or are you taught to look down on black men and see them as a burden? Something to consider, ma'am. Continuing.
To look at them as, oh, you poor black men, y'all have it so hard. Let me give you grace and understanding and let you lean on me while you get you together. And while that sounds great in theory, it does.
Lean on me while you get you together. Ma'am, what do you mean by that? Black women are more likely to enter the relationship in debt. Black women are more likely to enter the relationship with children. That's a fact. Black women are more likely to ma'am, black men earn more than black women. When you say that, what do you mean? It sounds good. But what do you mean, like tangibly? What can we see that a black woman is actually doing where the black man needs to be, quote unquote, lifted up by the black woman? That sounds good, but what does it mean? Continuing.
And build with a man because we think that in doing that down payment of being with him when he had nothing, that when he has everything, he will want to share it with us. That is not what is guaranteed to happen, though. Has it happened?
No guarantees in life.
No. Does it happen most times? Hell no. What tends to happen is through staying low and building with him, as he begins to get his shit together, you become the sole memory or representation of his past failings, of when he was at his lowest. When he looks at you, all he sees is when he was at his lowest.
Didn't we just play this?
He began to resent you for loving him.
Did she say this
when
earlier?
He was at his lowest and didn't even love himself. Okay? What tends to
Didn't
happen
even love
is
himself. Oh
he
boy.
no longer wants to be attached to you because you remind him of his struggle.
Deja
And
vu
he ain't
much?
struggling no more. And now he wants somebody who is indicative of who he can pull now that he isn't struggling. AKA usually someone lighter and whiter.
Okay, with that, we're going to end on with that one. Yeah, lighter and brighter. You think that black men are choosing up on this lady after she sound like this?
If you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is.
You think black men are choosing up on her because she lighter and brighter after they heard that? Huh? Yeah. So with that, everyone, sorry for the torture today. Afro National, I did not forget about you. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker. Um, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Mr. Z never looked and see what them likes look like. What them likes look like? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's see. We got 86 watching, but we got 68 likes. The numbers are backwards, right? The likes are backwards. So this young lady wasn't the most egregious. She wasn't the most antagonistic. She wasn't the meanest, right? So with that, but the arguments are still the same. The arguments are still the same. It still rhymes. It still sounds like stuff that we've heard before, right? Once
This is the
again,
song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
huh? Once again. So, young lady, in defense of the average, the dusty, and DDG, women make choices, not because it's slim pickings. Women make choices. Women make choices based off of physical appearance. Women make choices off of status. Women make choices off of possibilities. Women make choices. And if and when it doesn't work out, women don't then get to play victim of said man. I didn't know he lied to me. He put on. He was being intentional or whatever it is. Intentional is not the word Mr. Z was trying to use. I was trying to say something else, but I lost it. Anyway, or he wasn't being forthright with his intentions. That's what Mr. Z was saying. Yeah, right, ma'am. It's over. And even if it wasn't, let's say for argument's sake, it wasn't. The issue that black women are going to have, women writ large are going to have, is that the men simply, especially young men. So when Mr. Z says young, I really mean men under the age of like 50. Just do not buy the idea, particularly young black men. Do not buy the idea that women are inherently morally superior and women are inherently the victims of men. You could thank your mother's generation and grandmother's generation for that one. And here's the kicker, ma'am. No one can make these young men buy into it. Not FD, right? Not Hassan whatever Piker. No one. These guys are doing numbers, and it's mainly men watching them. It don't mean nothing, particularly in the black community. All of the subscribers, all of the views mean nothing if y'all can't get young men to marry black men, marry black women. If y'all can't get young black men to marry black women writ large, to be honest with you, but definitely young black women, if y'all can't get young black men to marry young black women, partner pay and subsidize. Ooh, goddamn, that sounds nice. Partner pay and subsidize. Partner, but still, partner pay and subsidize black women, it means nothing. Huh? It's that simple. So let's be very clear, man. In defense of the average, of the dusty, and of DDG, women cannot make choices and then claim to be victim after they made conscious, deliberate, intentional, informed choices and decisions. Huh? If it doesn't work out, you don't get to play victim afterward. You don't get to look at the man and say, oh, he was this and he was negative that and he lied to me this way. No, ma'am, you knew. We all told you. And that's if I agree with the framing. And I don't. Thank you, Afro National. They make calculated choices, then want to play dumb later. Haley Bailey saw something in DDG that turned her on. Oops. Huh? She made her choice. It didn't work. That does not mean that automatically DDG is some lesser dude. He lied to her. He tricked her. And as you said, she's being a little messy. No, she's being a lot messy. So on that note, everyone, we'll pause right there. This took forever because now I can tell y'all that was an hour long, and it took Z 3 hours to review an hour long, and I had it sped up, so it was like 45 minutes. So it took Z like 3 hours to review a 45-minute long goddamn think piece, feel piece. Shout out to Indigo Flow, right? And Vince says she saw that Peter and wanted to pipe her. And wanted to pipe her. Hysterical, right? And on that note, y'all, let's Z get out of here. We got things to do. Not really, but sleep. As I said, in defense of the average, the Dusty, and DDG, dear ladies, you don't get to play victim anymore. It's that simple. It's that simple. You can't be on the wrong side of men all the time. Women can't always be infallible in relationship to men, particularly in the Black community. Women can't always be infallible. Black women can't always be infallible in relationship to Black men. It can't be 100% always Black men's fault or partially Black men's fault. It can't always be that. It can't always be, I did because he did. I'm doing in response to, I'm doing in reaction to. It can't always be a Black man initiated the BS. It can't always be a Black woman is a victim of a Black man. So with that, we'll pause right there. Love, peace, and chicken grease. I'll go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. Once again, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use, right? Y'all have a great, great rest of y'all day. Or night, better yet. It's late night. And Mr. Z out. All right, y'all. Mr. Z out.
This is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.